Make yourself comfortable in your bed. Feel how your body gradually relaxes. Breathe deeply and evenly. Tonight, we embark on an extraordinary journey through the animal kingdom where evolution has created the most incredible wonders. Let your mind wander with my voice while your body sinks into deep, peaceful rest. Welcome to the wild animal world, where each story lulls you deeper into the embrace of sleep. Allow yourself to sink into this moment, fully present, completely relaxed. With each inhale, your shoulders drop a little lower. With each exhale, your mind becomes a little quieter. Release all thoughts about today. Release all plans for tomorrow. Only this moment exists now. Just this space between us. Just our shared journey into the world of nocturnal dreamers of nature. Your body feels a pleasant heaviness. First, this soft weight envelopes your feet. Then slowly rises to your knees. Then just as unhurriedly wraps around your thighs. Your abdomen. Your chest fills with deep tranquility. This calm flows further across your shoulders, down your arms, reaches your fingertips, and finally gently embraces your head. Your breathing becomes deeper, slower, natural, like in the deepest meditation. And now, take one more deep breath, and on the exhale, release the last remnants of tension. Release the last remnants of thought. Allow your body to become absolutely relaxed. Allow your mind to become completely open, ready to receive the gifts of wisdom that the night world brings us. A world that comes alive when we fall asleep. Imagine yourself in a soft clearing in a nighttime forest. Above your head stretches a velvet sky, strewn with flickering stars. Moonlight gently filters through the tree crowns, creating patterns of light and shadow. The air is filled with soothing aromas of pine and moist earth. And most importantly, sounds. The sounds of a nighttime forest that never sleeps. Listen. Do you hear that soft rustle of leaves in the gentle night breeze? It resembles a lullaby that nature sings to itself. Long, drawn-out notes of wind between branches. Short, tender rustles of leaves. The rhythmic, soothing whisper of grass. This is the first melody of night, which lulls the day world to sleep and awakens the night world. Now, listen deeper. Somewhere in the distance, the gentle call of an owl echoes. Hoo-hoo. This sound resonates between the trees like an invitation to a world of wisdom and peace. Owls are ancient symbols of wisdom. They observe the world with enormous eyes that absorb the smallest details of night life. Their flight is soundless. Their gaze all-penetrating. Their patience limitless. From the other side of the forest comes the gentle chirping of cicadas and crickets. This rhythmic, almost hypnotic sound creates the foundation of the night symphony. Can you imagine? Millions of tiny musicians simultaneously performing their part in nature's vast orchestra. Some crickets can create up to 120 sounds per second. And each such sound is part of an ancient ritual of life that repeats night after night for millions of years. How do you think nocturnal animals perceive these sounds? For them, it's not just pleasant background noise. It's a map. It's a language. It's a navigation system in darkness. Each sound carries information: where water sources are located, where food can be found, where danger lurks, where potential mates are. Nocturnal creatures read this sound map with incredible precision. Owls turn their heads almost 270 degrees to precisely determine where the faintest sound originates. Bats use echolocation, sending sound waves into space and analyzing their echoes. Nocturnal cats can hear the movement of a small mouse from a distance of 30 yards. They are all masters of sound, masters of silence, masters of night tranquility. When we humans sink into deep sleep, a whole world awakens to life. The time of nocturnal wanderers, nocturnal hunters, nocturnal dreamers begins. Time of creatures that evolved in harmony with darkness, who found their niche in the silence between sunset and sunrise, who transformed night into their day. Did you know that almost a third of all vertebrate animals on our planet lead nocturnal lives? From small rodents to enormous predators, from tiny insects to graceful birds, from underwater inhabitants to those who wander the night sky. All of them chose darkness as their time of flourishing. And each of these creatures possesses unique abilities that allow them to thrive where we humans feel helpless. They see in darkness. They hear sounds imperceptible to us. They sense the slightest changes in temperature, pressure, Earth's magnetic field. They find their way where for us there is only impenetrable darkness. Nocturnal animals are masters of peace and silence. The owl hunts soundlessly, its wings making no sound during flight thanks to the special structure of its feathers. The sloth can remain absolutely motionless for many hours, blending with its surroundings. The bat can maneuver between tree branches at incredible speed without touching a single leaf. Their movements hold grace. In their stillness lies strength. In their silence lies wisdom. These amazing creatures of the night can become our teachers. They can teach us to value silence. They can show us how to find peace in darkness, how to trust our senses when eyes cannot see, how to move through the unknown with grace and confidence, how to find beauty where others see only darkness. And also, nocturnal animals can become guardians of our dreams. When we fall asleep, they awaken. When our consciousness drifts into the world of dreams, they begin their night patrol. Owls watch from high branches. Bats fly silently between trees. Nocturnal cats step soundlessly with soft paws on the forest floor. They are all here, beside us, invisible but present, watching, guarding, protecting our peace. And now, I invite you to become a silent observer of the nighttime forest. Imagine that your body becomes light, almost weightless. You can move between trees without disturbing the silence. You can see in the dark as nocturnal creatures see. You can hear the quietest sounds that night creates. You are part of this world, a silent witness to its secrets. You will meet many wise beings here. Each will share with you its story, its wisdom, its tranquility. The first among them is the owl, symbol of wisdom and patience. Looking into its enormous yellow eyes, you see the reflection of the moon and stars. You see wisdom accumulated through millions of years of evolution. You see peace that comes only with complete acceptance of one's place in the world. Prepare yourself to meet it and other guardians of the night. Take another deep breath. Feel how with each exhale you become calmer, quieter, more present in this moment. Your mind is clear and peaceful, ready to perceive. Your body relaxed and heavy, ready to rest. And your imagination ready to fly with nocturnal creatures above sleeping forests, fields, and cities. The next time you look at the night sky, remember that there, in the darkness, lives an entire world. A world of beings that thrive in the silence of night, who have transformed what we consider a limitation into their greatest advantage, who have created entire civilizations in darkness while we sleep. Remember that night is not the absence of day. It is another dimension of life, just as rich, just as beautiful, just as full of wonders as day. With each inhale, your body becomes heavier. With each exhale, your mind becomes more peaceful. You are ready to embark on a journey through the night forest. You are ready to learn the secrets of nocturnal creatures. You are ready to allow your mind to wander while your body rests. We begin our journey. A journey into the world of wild nature's night dreams. From now on, let your breathing be your guide. Inhale, and you focus. Exhale, and you relax. Inhale, and you perceive. Exhale, and you release. With each cycle of breathing, you immerse yourself deeper into this journey, deeper into this state of tranquility, deeper into the world of nocturnal creatures. You're breathing, slow and rhythmic, similar to the breathing of a sleeping forest, to the rhythmic twinkling of stars, to the slow dance of moonlight between trees. You breathe in unison with nature, in unison with nocturnal creatures, in unison with the universe. Your breathing connects you with all living things, with everything that was, with everything that is, with everything that will be. And now, breathing ever deeper and more calmly, let's explore why owls are considered among the most mysterious creatures of the night. Deeper into relaxation, we now begin our first encounter with the remarkable inhabitants of the night. First to greet us on this nocturnal journey are the most mysterious birds on our planet, owls. These silent guardians of wisdom have been surrounded by legends and myths since ancient times, but science reveals even more fascinating facts about their lives. You've probably noticed these majestic birds in movies, books, and paintings. Or perhaps you've been fortunate enough to see them in the wild, these soundless hunters slicing through darkness with their broad wings. The owl. This bird has become a symbol of wisdom, mystery, and magic in most cultures around the world. But what do we really know about owls? What makes them perfect nocturnal hunters? How do they manage to see in almost complete darkness? Why can their heads turn so far? How do they fly in absolute silence? These questions and their answers will help us understand one of evolution's most remarkable creations. Owls are among the most ancient birds on our planet. Their story begins approximately 60 million years ago, when the world still belonged to dinosaurs. These birds have lived through entire epochs, adapting, perfecting themselves, adjusting to changes on the planet. They have witnessed species disappear and emerge, climate change, mountains form and crumble. And all this wisdom, all this collective experience, seems to be reflected in their deep, penetrating eyes. There are over 200 different species of owls in the world. From the tiny elf owl the size of a sparrow to the massive great horned owl weighing up to 9 pounds. They live on every continent except Antarctica. They can be found in tropical forests and tundra, in deserts and marshlands, in mountainous regions and grasslands. And each owl species is perfectly adapted to its environment, making them among the most successful predatory birds on the planet. As your body gradually relaxes and your thoughts become increasingly peaceful, let's delve into studying these amazing nocturnal hunters. Allow the owls to share with you their wisdom, their tranquility, their depth. And perhaps after this imaginary encounter, you will never look at them the same way again. The first striking feature of owls is their eyes. Enormous, expressive, hypnotic eyes that seem to glow with their own light in the darkness. These eyes are a true marvel of nature's engineering. Compared to body size, an owl's eyes are 35 times larger than human eyes relative to our bodies. If humans had proportionally large eyes like an owl, they would be the size of grapefruits. But it's not just size that makes owl eyes so special. Unlike humans, owl eyes are positioned on the front of the head, providing excellent binocular vision. This allows them to determine the distance to prey with incredible accuracy. However, an owl's eyes are immobile and cannot rotate in their sockets like ours. That's why owls develop the ability to turn their heads 270 degrees to see the world around them. These remarkable eyes can see in light levels 100 times dimmer than what humans need. The retina of an owl's eye contains an incredible number of rods, light-sensitive cells that work even in minimal lighting. And a special membrane behind the retina, the tapetum, reflects light back through the retina, effectively doubling the amount of light the eye perceives. This is why owl eyes often appear to glow in the dark when even the faintest ray of light falls on them. Imagine this, a nighttime forest, moonlight barely penetrating through the dense foliage. For humans, this forest is filled with dark silhouettes and shadows. But for an owl, this forest is filled with clear, detailed images. It sees every leaf, every twig, every small stone on the ground. And, of course, it sees every movement among the grass, a little mouse rustling through fallen leaves in search of food. But eyes are just part of the owl's amazing arsenal. Equally important is its hearing. An owl's ears are positioned asymmetrically, one ear slightly higher than the other. This allows it to determine not only the horizontal source of sound, as we do, but also the vertical. Thus, an owl can pinpoint prey's location with incredible accuracy even in complete darkness. Additionally, the facial disc of an owl is not just a decorative feature. It's a true acoustic antenna that captures and concentrates sound waves, directing them straight to the ears. The combination of asymmetric ears and the facial disc allows an owl to hear a mouse rustling under snow from a distance of 100 feet in the complete silence of night. An owl can hear even the heartbeat of a small rodent. Think about that. The tiny heart of a field mouse, beating at 500 beats per minute, creates a sound that we humans could never hear. But for the owl, this sound is a clear signal, a map leading to food. Isn't it strange that a creature we consider a symbol of silence actually has one of the most sensitive hearing apparatuses in the animal kingdom? Now, notice your breathing. Slow, deep, relaxed. With each exhale, you release tension. With each inhale, you fill with tranquility. Listening about owls, you seem to immerse yourself in their quiet, meditative world, where each moment is filled with mindful presence, deep concentration, and infinite patience. But the most amazing characteristic of the owl is its silent flight. No other bird can fly as quietly as an owl. If you've ever seen an owl in flight, it's an unforgettable sight. It seems to float in the air, silently gliding between trees, without a single wing beat disturbing the night's silence. How do owls manage to fly so silently? The secret lies in the unique structure of their feathers. Unlike other birds, the leading edge of an owl's wing has a cone-like structure, resembling the teeth of a comb. These small serrations break the airflow, reducing turbulence and, consequently, the noise from wing movement. Additionally, all feathers are covered with a special velvet-like coating that further absorbs sound waves. And on the trailing edge of the owl's wing are long, soft filaments that create a kind of fringe. When the owl flies, this fringe breaks air streams into smaller vortices that produce sounds too quiet for the human ear. Think about this. Evolution created a true acoustic stealth aircraft long before humans invented radar and visibility technology. Thanks to these adaptations, an owl can approach prey so closely that it doesn't even notice the predator's approach. Imagine, a small mouse emerges from its burrow to search for food. It carefully sniffs, listens, looks around. But it hears nothing. And suddenly, the owl's strong talons grab it. The last thing the mouse sees are huge yellow eyes glowing in the darkness, like two moons. Among the many owl species are true masters of night hunting. Take, for example, the gray owl, one of the most common owls in the northern hemisphere. This medium-sized owl has characteristic ash-gray plumage that perfectly camouflages it among tree trunks. It can sit motionless for hours, blending with tree bark, patiently waiting for prey to appear. The polar or snowy owl, on the other hand, has adapted to life in the harsh conditions of the tundra. Its white plumage is perfect camouflage on snow, and the thick feathers on its feet protect it from the cold. Unlike most owls, the snowy owl is active during the day as well, since in the Arctic region the sun hardly sets in summer. This owl hunts lemmings and other rodents, sometimes even hares and birds. The little owl is a compact owl only the size of a thrush. But don't be deceived by its size. It's a brave and efficient hunter that feeds on insects, rodents, and even small birds. The little owl often settles near human dwellings and is one of the few owls that can be spotted in urban parks. The majestic gray horned owl, the largest owl in North America, a true king of the night forest. With a wingspan of up to 5 feet, this bird can hunt not only rodents but also hares, foxes, and even young deer. Its deep, resonating call hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo can be heard for several miles in the quiet night hours. And finally, the screech owl, a small owl with characteristic ear tufts that resemble horns. Its name comes from its melodic trilling call, which sounds like a gentle lullaby in the middle of the forest. This owl specializes in hunting insects, especially moths and beetles. Interestingly, many cultures around the world view the owl as a symbol of wisdom. In ancient Greece, the owl was the sacred bird of Athena, goddess of wisdom. In Norse mythology, owls were associated with Freya, goddess of love and fertility. For some Native American tribes, the owl was a guide to the afterworld, and in Japanese culture, it was considered a protector against diseases and misfortunes. Perhaps this association with wisdom comes from the calm, contemplative nature of the owl. During the day, owls usually sit motionless, with half-closed eyes, as if in deep meditation. They don't bustle, don't make noise, don't waste energy needlessly. They wait. Observe. Listen. Their stillness reminds us of the value of patience, the power of calm, the wisdom of silence. And now, allow yourself to compare your own life with the life of an owl. We humans often live in constant hustle. We rush from one place to another, from one task to another, from one meeting to the next. We rarely stop to just be in the moment, just listen, just look around. An owl, on the other hand, can sit motionless for hours on a single branch, observing the world around it. It doesn't get distracted. It doesn't worry about what happened yesterday or what will happen tomorrow. It is fully present in the moment. And when the time comes for action, it acts with graceful efficiency, without rush, without unnecessary movements. Imagine if we could borrow some of this owl wisdom. If we learn to value silence as the owl values it. If we learn patience as the owl teaches us. If we learn to be fully present in the moment as the owl does. How much calmer, how much richer, how much deeper our lives would become. Owl wisdom is the wisdom of observing without judgment, listening without distraction, waiting without anxiety. It's the wisdom of full presence, complete acceptance, total awareness. And it's precisely this wisdom we can learn from these amazing nocturnal birds. The next time you see an owl, in a zoo, in a photograph, or, if you're lucky, in the wild, remember these words. Look into its deep, wise eyes and try to see the world as it sees it. Try to hear the world as it hears it. Try to feel the peace it radiates. And perhaps you'll discover a new depth, a new silence, a new wisdom. And now, with each exhale, feel how relaxation spreads throughout your body. With each inhale, feel how tranquility fills your mind. You're slowly wandering through the night forest where owls and other nocturnal creatures live. You hear their soft voices. You see their fluid movements. You feel their deep wisdom. And with each step, with each breath, you become more relaxed, more peaceful, more present in this moment. Do you feel how your eyelids are becoming heavier? How your muscles relax deeper? How your thoughts slow down, become calmer, more sparse? This is all wisdom entering your body, your mind, your soul. This is the silence of night enveloping you like a soft blanket. This is the peace of the forest filling you like a deep breath of fresh air. As your eyelids grow heavier, imagine yourself slowly taking flight above the night forest on the soft, silent wings of an owl. Feel the freedom of flight, the lightness of movement, the grace of soaring among the stars. Below you stretches the dark forest, silvery in the moonlight. You see every detail of this landscape, hear every sound of this night's symphony. You are part of this world, this night, this silence. As your eyelids grow heavier, allow your imagination to soar with the silent flight of an owl above the nighttime forest. Feel this incredible freedom of movement, where each wing beat seems like an extension of the air itself. Owls fly differently than most other birds. Their flight is a slow, measured dance between moonbeams that filter through the tree canopy. In this moment, as your body rests on the soft surface of your bed, your mind can freely glide with these wise nocturnal hunters. With your eyes closed, you can see with your inner vision how an owl gently pushes off from the branch of a century-old oak and extends its broad wings. There is no sound, just a slight movement of air, and it's already floating above the sleeping forest. The night is deep now. Stars shimmer in the velvet sky. The owl's wings move in the slowest, most graceful rhythm. Down and up. Down and up. Just like your breath, becoming slower, deeper, more peaceful with each passing moment. Let's continue our exploration of the owl's nocturnal world, but now, let the pace slow down. Let the words flow like honey. Let each image linger longer in your mind, creating a tapestry of peaceful night scenes. When an owl hunts at night, it doesn't rush. It doesn't frantically search. Instead, it embodies perfect patience. Sometimes, an owl will sit motionless on the same branch for hours, watching, listening, waiting. This patience is not born from restraint but from deep wisdom. The wisdom that understands the value of the right moment. The wisdom that knows that everything happens in its own perfect time. As you sink deeper into relaxation, imagine yourself adopting this patience. Feel how time stretches and slows. How each moment becomes richer, fuller, more complete. There is nowhere to rush to, nothing to chase after, only this moment, only this breath, only this gentle awareness. The wing beats of an owl in flight occur in what feels like slow motion compared to other birds. Each downstroke is deliberate, measured, precise. The owl doesn't waste energy, doesn't make unnecessary movements. Its flight is the embodiment of efficiency and grace. When hunting, the barn owl might beat its wings only twice per second, creating an almost hypnotic rhythm, like a slow, peaceful heartbeat. Your own heartbeat slows now to match this gentle rhythm. Your breathing deepens. Your muscles release any remaining tension. Wave after wave of comfort washes over you, just as the soft night air flows over the owl's silent wings. The way an owl sees the world at night is vastly different from our human perception. While we see darkness, shadows, and indistinct shapes, the owl sees a world of subtle details, shades of blue and gray, textures and patterns, movements and stillness. The owl doesn't fear the night, doesn't resist the darkness. It embraces it, works with it, makes it an ally rather than an obstacle. Perhaps we too can learn to see the dark periods of our lives not as times to endure, but as opportunities to develop new senses, new perspectives, new strengths. Just as the owl has evolved to thrive in darkness, perhaps we too can find unexpected gifts in our own challenging times. The great horned owl, with its distinctive ear tufts, can remain so still while perched that it becomes virtually invisible to its prey below. Its mottled brown feathers blend perfectly with tree bark. Its yellow eyes half closed. Its body barely moving, even with each breath. This stillness is not tension, not rigidity, but a profound relaxation, a complete harmony with its surroundings, a perfect presence. As you listen to these words, allow this same quality of stillness to permeate your body. First, your feet become completely still, then your legs, your hips, your abdomen, your chest, your shoulders, your arms, your hands, your neck, and finally your head, until your entire body rests in perfect stillness. Not frozen stillness, but a living, breathing stillness, full of life, full of peace, full of possibility. When an owl sleeps during daylight hours, it enters a state between alertness and deep rest. It can remain aware of its surroundings even while getting the rest it needs. Some owls will sleep with one eye slightly open, maintaining a connection with the world while still replenishing their energy. This balanced state of restful awareness is something we humans often seek in meditation, being deeply relaxed yet subtly alert, peaceful yet present. Your mind begins to enter this same state now. Not quite asleep, not fully awake, but in that perfect middle space where your body receives deep rest while your consciousness floats freely, aware but unattached, present but not engaged. This is the owl's gift to you tonight. This perfect balance. During winter months, when food becomes scarce, the snowy owl can enter a state of reduced metabolism. Its body temperature lowers slightly. Its heart rate decreases. It conserves energy while remaining fully alive and aware. This is not hibernation, but a mindful slowing down, an intelligent adaptation to challenging conditions, a wisdom that knows when to act and when to wait. Feel how your own metabolism gently slows now. Your body needs less oxygen. Your heart beats more slowly. Your thoughts come at greater intervals. Everything within you settles into a rhythm of conservation and peace. Not disconnection, but a more efficient connection. Not withdrawal, but wise engagement. The barred owl, known for its distinctive "who-cooks-for-you" call, has specially adapted flight feathers with soft, comb-like edges that break up air turbulence. These feathers create tiny microvortices instead of larger, noisier air movements. This adaptation allows the owl to fly in complete silence, enabling it to hear the faintest sounds of prey below and approach without detection. Imagine now that your thoughts have these same soft edges. No harsh movements in your mind. No jarring transitions. Just smooth, quiet flow from one thought to the next. Eventually, even these gentle thoughts begin to space themselves further apart until the gaps between thoughts become longer than the thoughts themselves. These peaceful gaps expand, creating a vast, quiet space within you. When an owl blinks, it does so with deliberate slowness. First, a transparent membrane slides across the eye, providing protection while maintaining vision. Then, the outer eyelid closes with dreamlike slowness. And when it opens again, it does so with the same unhurried pace. Each blink becomes a mindful moment, a brief meditation, a reset of perception. Your own eyelids feel the same heaviness now, each blink becoming slower, more deliberate, the closing lasting longer than the opening, until your eyes remain closed, embracing the darkness, finding comfort in it, just as the owl finds home in the night. The remarkable facial disc of an owl works like a satellite dish for sound. The stiff feathers around its face create a parabolic structure that captures and funnels sound waves directly to its ear openings. This allows the owl to detect sounds we could never perceive. The faint rustle of a mouse under 3 feet of snow. The movement of an insect in leaf litter from 30 feet away. The soft breathing of a rabbit hiding in dense brush. As your hearing becomes more sensitive in this relaxed state, you might notice sounds you normally miss. The distant rhythm of your own heartbeat. The subtle sound of air entering and leaving your lungs. Perhaps even the faint electrical hum of silence itself. This heightened awareness doesn't disturb your peace, but rather deepens it, enriches it, completes it. In Native American Pueblo tradition, the owl is considered a guardian of the night and keeper of secrets. In the ancient teachings, it was believed that while most beings sleep, the owl remains vigilant, collecting the knowledge, dreams, and wisdom that fill the night air. This gathered wisdom is then shared selectively with those who show proper respect for the mysteries of existence. Those who approach life with humility and wonder. Tonight, as you rest on the threshold of sleep, imagine that the owl shares some of this collected wisdom with you. Not in words, but in feelings. Not in concepts, but in subtle knowing. A wordless understanding that settles into your being, becoming part of who you are. As the night deepens around us, the owl's hunting reaches its most patient phase. No longer actively flying, it now sits absolutely still on a low branch. Its entire being focused on listening. Its facial disc capturing every whisper of sound. Its eyes taking in every subtle movement. Nothing escapes its gentle attention. Nothing is too small to notice. Nothing is insignificant to its mindful presence. Your own awareness now expands to include everything within and around you. The weight of your body against the bed. The temperature of the air on your skin. The rhythm of your heartbeat. The spaciousness of your mind. All held in this owl-like attention. Not straining to perceive, but effortlessly receiving all that is. The way an owl turns its head is unlike any other creature. Because its eyes are fixed in their sockets, the owl has developed extraordinary flexibility in its neck. With 14 vertebrae instead of the 7 we humans have, it can rotate its head almost all the way around without moving its body. This gives the owl a unique perspective, the ability to see in almost all directions while maintaining perfect stillness. Feel how your perspective widens now. Not through physical movement, but through the expansion of your consciousness. You can perceive multiple dimensions of your experience simultaneously. The physical sensations in your body. The emotions flowing through your heart. The thoughts drifting through your mind. The deeper awareness that watches it all. All without moving. All while maintaining perfect tranquility. As we gradually bring this exploration of owl wisdom to a close, allow yourself to fully embody the qualities we've discovered. The patience that knows the value of waiting. The attention that misses nothing yet attaches to nothing. The silence that communicates more than words ever could. The stillness that contains infinite potential. The wisdom that sees in darkness what others miss in light. Visualize yourself now, becoming owl-like in your perception of the world. Your awareness expanding in all directions. Your senses becoming more refined with each breath. Your patience deepening with each moment. your wisdom growing with each experience. Whether awake or asleep, this owl consciousness remains with you. A gift from one of nature's most mysterious and magical creatures. As your body grows heavier and your mind grows quieter, picture yourself once more on the silent wings of an owl, gliding effortlessly through the night, the moon illuminating your path, stars guiding your journey, the earth sleeping peacefully below. There is no effort here, no struggle, just the perfect harmony of being exactly where you are meant to be, doing exactly what you are meant to do, in exactly the way it should be done. The slow, rhythmic beating of the owl's wings continues, matching the rhythm of your breathing, matching the rhythm of your heart, matching the rhythm of the night itself. Down and up, down and up. Slower now, even slower, until the movement becomes almost imperceptible, until stillness and motion become one. As your consciousness drifts toward the boundary between wakefulness and sleep, know that the owl continues its vigilant watch. Its wisdom continues to permeate the night, and its gentle presence continues to guard your dreams. Safe, secure, protected. You can let go completely now, surrendering to the embrace of night, to the wisdom of the owl, to the peace that has always been waiting for you. With each breath sinking deeper into relaxation, with each moment letting go a little more, we prepare to transition into our next exploration, where we'll discover the mysterious world of bats and their remarkable mastery of sound and darkness. With each breath sinking deeper into relaxation, we gently transition now from the wisdom of owls to another remarkable master of the night, the bat. As we continue our nocturnal journey, allow your consciousness to drift with these extraordinary flying mammals who navigate the darkest nights with unparalleled precision. Imagine the soft flutter of leathery wings passing silently through the night air. These are not birds, but rather a different miracle of evolution, mammals that conquered the skies and made darkness their domain. While owls rely primarily on their exceptional vision and hearing, bats have developed an entirely different way of perceiving the world, one that seems almost magical to human understanding. Bats represent one of nature's most successful adaptations. For over 50 million years, these remarkable creatures have been perfecting their unique abilities, spreading across almost every corner of our planet. From the smallest kitty's hog-nosed bat weighing less than a penny to the magnificent flying foxes with wingspans of up to 6 feet, bats have diversified into over 1,400 different species, accounting for nearly a quarter of all mammal species on Earth. As your body continues to relax deeper into restfulness, let's explore the fascinating world of these night flyers. Unlike the stillness of the owl, which we just contemplated, bats represent movement and flow, yet they embody an equally profound harmony with the night world. At the heart of the bat's remarkable night navigation is a sense that humans can barely comprehend: echolocation. Imagine being able to see with your ears, to paint a detailed picture of the world around you using only sound. This is the bat's superpower, and it works with astonishing precision. As a bat flies through the night, it emits high-frequency calls, most too high-pitched for human ears to detect. These sound waves travel through the air until they hit an object, at which point they bounce back to the bat. By analyzing the returning echoes, the bat's brain creates a detailed sonic map of its surroundings. This happens with such speed and accuracy that a bat can detect objects as thin as a human hair in complete darkness. The sophistication of this system surpasses anything humans have created. A bat can determine an object's size, shape, texture, and even movement. It can tell the difference between a moth and a mosquito from over 30 feet away. It can navigate through dense forests, avoiding every branch and leaf without visual input. And perhaps most impressive of all, some bats can detect the wing beats of insects, allowing them to hunt prey that isn't even making noise. Think about the level of neural processing required for this feat. The bat must produce the call, listen for extremely faint echoes returning from multiple directions, analyze the time differences between emission and reception, account for the Doppler effect as it moves, and create a mental three-dimensional map of its environment, all in milliseconds. But bats don't just use sound for navigation and hunting. They're also highly social creatures with complex communication. Bat colonies can number in the millions, with individuals recognizing each other by their unique vocalizations. Mother bats can locate their single pup among thousands or even millions of others in a cave by its distinctive call. It's like finding one specific person in a crowd of a million by the sound of their voice alone. As your mind contemplates these wonders, notice how your breathing has naturally found a steady, restful rhythm. Just as bats live by their own rhythm of day and night, opposite to our own. Their day is our night. Their waking is our sleeping. Two parallel worlds existing in the same space but different times. Beyond their echolocation abilities, bats display remarkable physical adaptations. Their wings are actually modified hands, with elongated fingers connected by thin membranes of skin. Unlike bird wings, this structure allows bats incredible maneuverability. They can change direction in a fraction of a second, perform rolls and dives, hover in place, and even fly upside down momentarily. Imagine having such freedom of movement. Such perfect control. Such harmony between intention and action. As you lie here, feel a similar harmony developing between your breathing and your relaxation. Between your thoughts and your feelings. Everything flowing together in perfect synchrony. Contrary to popular myths, bats are not blind. In fact, most species have perfectly functional eyes that see quite well, especially in low light. But they've developed echolocation as a complementary sense that works alongside vision, creating a perceptual experience unlike anything we humans can fully comprehend. It's as if they live in a world where sound and sight are merged into a single, unified awareness. Perhaps there's wisdom in this for us too. The understanding that our different ways of perceiving, through our various senses, through logic, through intuition, through emotion, need not compete but can complement each other, creating a richer, more complete experience of life. Most bats are insectivores, consuming enormous quantities of insects each night. A single little brown bat can catch and eat up to 1,000 mosquito-sized insects in a single hour. Collectively, bats save farmers billions of dollars annually by providing natural pest control. Others feed on fruit, spreading seeds across wide areas and helping to regenerate forests. Still others feed on nectar, pollinating numerous plant species in the process. A few species feed on fish, frogs, or even the blood of larger animals. This diversity of feeding styles has led to an astonishing variety of facial structures among bats. Some have elaborate nose leaves that focus their echolocation calls. Others have huge ears that can be independently moved to better capture returning echoes. Fruit bats often have longer muzzles and larger eyes, relying more on vision and smell than echolocation. The Mexican free-tailed bat, which forms some of the largest colonies in the world, can fly at speeds over 60 miles per hour and reach altitudes of 10,000 feet. Each evening, millions emerge from Bracken Cave in Texas in a spectacular spiral that looks like a living tornado against the sunset sky. The colony consumes tons of insects each night, including many agricultural pests. As these bats swirl into the night sky, they create one of nature's most mesmerizing displays. Imagine watching this living river of wings flow out into the darkness. thousands upon thousands of individuals moving as one. A perfect harmony of individual freedom and collective coordination. Your breath flowing in and out follows a similar rhythm. Individual moments connecting to form a continuous flow. Each breath unique, yet part of a greater pattern. Perhaps the most misunderstood aspect of bats is their relationship with disease. While bats can carry viruses without becoming ill themselves, a fascinating area of scientific research, the vast majority of bat species pose no threat to humans when left undisturbed in their natural habitats. In fact, their presence is essential for healthy ecosystems and biodiversity. The vampire bat, which has perhaps contributed most to the bat's fearsome reputation, is actually a marvel of evolutionary specialization. Found only in parts of Latin America, these small bats make tiny, painless incisions in the skin of sleeping animals and lap up the blood with specialized tongues. They developed anticoagulants in their saliva so effective that they're being studied for potential medical applications in preventing strokes in humans. What's particularly remarkable about vampire bats is their social behavior. They've been observed sharing food with colony members who fail to find a meal, genuine altruism that ensures the survival of the group. If a bat fails to feed for 2 nights in a row, it will likely die. By sharing blood meals with unsuccessful hunters, successful bats literally save the lives of their companions. This level of cooperation and care for others extends to most bat species. Mother bats nurse and care for their young with remarkable devotion. In many species, females form nursery colonies where they collectively rear their pups, taking turns watching over the young while others feed. As night deepens, let us contemplate how bats navigate the darkness not as solitary hunters, but as communities. Supporting each other, communicating constantly, existing in a web of relationships that enhances the survival of each individual. Isn't there a certain peace in knowing that even in the darkest night, such cooperation and care exists? That the natural world shows us models of both the fierce independence of the owl and the interdependent community of bats? 2 different but equally successful approaches to thriving in the nocturnal world. As your body grows heavier and your mind grows quieter, consider the bat's daily rhythm. As dawn approaches, most bats return to their roosts, caves, hollow trees, rock crevices, or human structures. There, they enter a state of torpor, lowering their metabolic rate and body temperature to conserve energy during their inactive period. This daily mini-hibernation is another remarkable adaptation. A bat's heart rate can drop from over 400 beats per minute during flight to under 20 beats per minute during day rest. Their body temperature can fall from 100 degrees Fahrenheit to near the ambient temperature of their surroundings. This energy conservation allows bats to survive on relatively small amounts of food despite their high-energy nighttime activities. Many bat species also enter a deeper state of hibernation during winter months when insects are scarce. They find secure, temperature-stable locations and can sleep for months, their metabolism slowed to a bare minimum. Their breathing becomes so slight that it might appear they're not breathing at all. Yet within this profound stillness lies the potential for immediate awakening if needed. As you rest here, feeling the pleasant heaviness in your limbs, you might notice similarities between your current state and the bat's daytime rest. A slowing of systems, a conservation of energy, a peaceful withdrawal from external activities, all while maintaining the capacity to return to alertness if needed. The delicate wings of a bat are engineering marvels. The membrane, called the patagium, contains blood vessels, nerves, and elastic fibers that allow for both strength and flexibility. Unlike birds, which primarily move their wings up and down, bats have a much more complex wing movement, more like swimming through air than the simpler flight of birds. A bat's wing is sensitive enough to detect changes in air pressure and flow, allowing for instant adjustments during flight. This sensitivity helps them avoid obstacles and track prey with incredible precision. Some bats can even catch insects using their wing or tail membranes, scooping them from the air like a living net. Imagine having such sensitivity, such awareness of the subtlest changes in your environment, such ability to respond fluidly, without hesitation. As you rest, notice how your own awareness has perhaps become more sensitive, more attuned to subtle sensations, more receptive to gentle shifts in your inner state. Bats face numerous threats in our modern world: habitat loss, climate change, disease, and direct persecution based on misunderstandings and myths. Yet their resilience is remarkable. They've adapted to live alongside humans in countless ways, from roosting in buildings to feeding in agricultural landscapes and urban parks. Conservation efforts are helping protect these essential night flyers. Artificial bat houses provide safe roosting sites. Wildlife corridors ensure bats can move between feeding and roosting areas. Public education helps dispel harmful myths and foster appreciation for these remarkable creatures. By protecting bats, we protect not just a fascinating element of biodiversity, but also the ecological services they provide: pest control, seed dispersal, and pollination. We ensure that the night remains alive with their silent wings and remarkable sensory abilities. As your mind drifts deeper towards sleep, carry with you the image of bats emerging from their daytime rest, stretching their delicate wings, preparing for their nightly journey through darkness, their bodies perfectly attuned to their environment, their senses alive to every subtle echo, their movements fluid and precise, with each breath becoming slower and deeper, with each thought becoming quieter and more distant. Prepare yourself to explore even further into the mysterious world of bats and their nighttime realm, where sound becomes sight and darkness reveals its hidden wonders. As your eyelids grow heavier and your breathing becomes deeper, we continue our gentle exploration of the bat's nocturnal world, but now at an even slower pace, allowing each idea to fully unfold in your mind, each image to completely form before softly dissolving into the next. The bat's journey through darkness isn't hurried or frantic. Despite their sometimes rapid wing beats, there is a profound harmony in their movement, a fluidity that comes from perfect adaptation, perfect belonging. These creatures have been refining their relationship with the night for millions of years, and this ancient wisdom lies in every cell of their being. Imagine now the delicate bones of a bat's wing, lighter than the finest jewelry, yet strong enough to support thousands of hours of flight throughout a lifetime. The thin membrane stretches between these elongated finger bones, so thin that light can pass through it, revealing the intricate network of blood vessels within. A living sail that catches the night air with exquisite sensitivity. As the bat flies through the forest at night, its wing membranes sense the slightest changes in air pressure, tiny vortices created by branches and leaves, microscopic shifts in temperature and humidity. Through these subtle feelings, the bat knows not just where obstacles are, but what they are: their texture, their density, their relationship to other objects nearby. This sensitivity requires something that seems contradictory: both tremendous strength and profound softness. The wing must be strong enough to propel the bat through air, yet soft enough to feel the most delicate patterns of pressure. In this paradox lies a wisdom that applies beyond the bat world. That strength and sensitivity are not opposites, but complementary qualities. each enhancing the other. Your own body, resting now in perfect stillness, contains this same harmonious balance. Your breathing shows strength in its consistency, yet sensitivity in how it adapts to your changing needs. Your heartbeat demonstrates power in its relentless rhythm, yet responsiveness in how it adjusts to your emotional states. Your mind exhibits resilience in maintaining awareness, yet receptivity in how it welcomes new experiences. The breath of a resting bat is almost imperceptible. During daylight hours, as they hang upside down in their roosts, their metabolism slows dramatically. Their breathing becomes shallow and slow. Their heartbeat reduces to a gentle murmur. This conservation of energy is not a diminishment of life, but rather a different expression of it. A wisdom that knows when to be active and when to rest, when to expand and when to conserve. Your own breath now follows a similar pattern, growing slower, deeper, more efficient. Each inhale bringing just the right amount of oxygen, each exhale releasing just the right amount of carbon dioxide. No effort, no strain, just the perfect exchange between your body and the surrounding air. A conversation as ancient as life itself. When bats return to their roosts at dawn, they often engage in mutual grooming, gently cleaning each other's fur and wings. This social bonding strengthens their community, creates trust and connection. Some species will even wrap their wings around neighboring bats, like friends embracing, sharing warmth and security. In the darkness of a cave or hollow tree, thousands of individual heartbeats synchronize. Thousands of breaths fall into harmony, creating a collective rhythm that soothes each member of the colony. As you rest here, imagine yourself surrounded by this same feeling of belonging, of safety, of community, whether you're alone or with others in your physical space. Feel the connection to all living beings who are also resting at this moment. All those who are breathing the same air, sharing the same planet, existing under the same stars. This web of life holds you gently, supports you completely, embraces you unconditionally. The sound of a bat colony awakening at dusk is like a gentle rising tide of whispers. Soft squeaks and rustles as wings stretch and bodies shift. Low-frequency social calls that maintain connections between individuals. The collective consciousness of the colony gradually transitions from day rest to night activity. Not suddenly, not jarringly, but in a gentle wave of awakening that moves through the group. Your own consciousness now exists in a similar in-between state, neither fully awake nor completely asleep, but in that peaceful threshold space where both worlds are accessible, where dreams and thoughts intermingle, where boundaries soften and dissolve. This liminal space has been celebrated in many wisdom traditions as a doorway to deeper understanding, a state where intuition flows freely and insights arise naturally. When baby bats are born, they weigh up to 1/3 of their mother's weight. Imagine a human giving birth to a 30-pound infant. Yet bat mothers care for these relatively enormous offspring with tremendous devotion. For the first few weeks of life, the pup clings to its mother everywhere she goes. Even during flight, she nurses it several times a day, grooms it constantly, protects it fiercely. Perhaps most remarkably, when the mother must hunt alone, she leaves her pup in a nursery area of the roost with other young bats. She will return several times during the night to nurse her offspring, finding her own pup among hundreds or thousands of others through its unique scent and call. This incredible bond between mother and pup illustrates the depth of care that exists in the natural world. Even among creatures we might think of as simple or primitive, this nurturing energy exists all around us. In countless forms, the trees release oxygen for us to breathe. The earth provides food for us to eat. The sun shares its warmth and light. We are continuously sustained by an abundant universe that supports life in endless ways. As you rest, feel this supportive energy surrounding you, cradling you, nurturing you, just as the mother bat nurtures her pup. The echo mapping ability of bats develops through a combination of instinct and learning. Young bats must practice their echolocation skills, refining their abilities through experience. They start with simpler environments and gradually tackle more complex ones, making mistakes, adapting, improving. This patience with the learning process is another form of bat wisdom. The understanding that mastery comes through practice. That perfection isn't immediate but emerges through consistent effort and experience. Your own journey toward deep rest follows a similar path. Each night, your body and mind remember more deeply how to let go, how to surrender to sleep, how to trust the natural cycles of activity and rest. With practice, this transition becomes smoother, more effortless, more complete. Tonight is another step in that ongoing learning, another opportunity to deepen your relationship with rest and renewal. When a bat navigates through a pitch-black cave, it moves with complete trust in its echolocation system. It doesn't doubt the information it receives, doesn't second-guess its perceptions, doesn't hesitate in its movements. This trust in its own natural abilities allows for fluid, graceful navigation through even the most complex environments. A dance of sound and movement that happens without conscious effort or strain. As you continue to relax more deeply, allow yourself to trust your own natural abilities in the same way. Trust your body's wisdom in knowing how to rest. Trust your mind's capacity to quiet itself. Trust your breath's rhythm to stabilize and deepen. Trust your heart's knowledge of what you truly need. This trust allows your entire system to relax more completely, to surrender more fully to the healing powers of deep rest. The wing membrane of a bat contains specialized elastin fibers that allow it to stretch and then return to its original shape. This elasticity is crucial for the fine control bats have over their wing shape during flight. They can adjust the curvature and angle of their wings with extraordinary precision, creating lift, reducing drag, controlling direction, all through subtle changes in tension and release. Your own body possesses this same balance of tension and release. As you exhale, feel how certain muscles naturally release their tension. As you inhale, notice the gentle expansion that creates space within you. This natural alternation between engagement and relaxation happens without your conscious control. A wisdom held in your body's cellular memory. A knowledge older than thought, deeper than language. When bats hibernate during winter months, they enter an even deeper state of rest than their daily torpor. Their body temperature can drop to just a few degrees above freezing. Their heart might beat only once every few minutes. Their breathing becomes so slight that it's nearly imperceptible. Yet within this profound stillness, life continues. Blood flows, though slowly. Cells repair themselves. Energy is conserved. This deep hibernation is not a surrender of life, but a different expression of it. A wisdom that knows how to endure through difficult seasons by turning inward, by reducing needs to their most essential elements. As winter eventually yields to spring, hibernating bats gradually awaken. Their metabolism slowly increases. Their heart rate gently rises. Their body temperature gradually warms. This transition is not abrupt but unfolds organically over hours or even days. The wisdom of the bat includes not only knowing how to enter deep rest but also how to emerge from it in a balanced, harmonious way. The sounds that bats make exist largely beyond human hearing. Many other echolocation calls vibrate at frequencies between 20,000 and 200,000 Hz, while human hearing typically tops out around 20,000 Hz. This means that bats communicate and navigate in a sonic realm that overlaps only partially with our own. Their world exists alongside ours but encompasses dimensions of experience we can only understand through scientific instruments and imagination. How many other realms of experience might exist beyond our perception? How many frequencies, energies, patterns, and relationships continue all around us that we cannot directly sense? The humility to recognize the limitations of our awareness is another form of wisdom. An acknowledgement that reality is always richer, more complex, and more wonderful than our current understanding of it. As you drift deeper towards sleep, imagine expanding your awareness beyond its usual boundaries. Not through effort, not through straining, but through gentle allowing, through opening to possibilities beyond your everyday perception, through trusting that you are held within a universe far more vast and intricate than your conscious mind can comprehend. The roosting posture of bats, hanging upside down, may seem strange to us, but it offers them several advantages. It requires almost no energy, as they simply need to relax their specialized ankle joints to grip the ceiling or branch. It puts them in perfect position for takeoff, as they need only release their grip and spread their wings to begin flying. It protects them from many predators who cannot reach their ceiling perches. What initially appears awkward or uncomfortable is actually perfectly adapted to their needs and lifestyle. Sometimes the positions or situations that seem most uncomfortable to us initially are exactly what we need for growth or healing. The willingness to rest in uncertainty, to embrace the unfamiliar, to trust the process even when we don't fully understand it. This openness to experience is another form of wisdom that bats embody in their upside-down repose. As twilight deepens into night, bats emerge from their roosts not all at once, but in a gentle, gradual procession. Some species send out scout bats first to assess conditions. Others emerge in small groups that gradually build into larger streams. This staggered emergence reduces predation risk and allows the colony to adapt to changing conditions. There is no rush, no panic, just a measured, mindful transition from day rest to night activity that has been refined over millions of years of evolution. Your own transition from wakefulness to sleep follows a similar natural progression. First the heaviness in your limbs, then the slowing of your thoughts, then the deepening of your breath, then the drifting of your consciousness. Each stage unfolds in its own perfect timing. There's no need to force or rush the process, only to allow it to happen as naturally as falling leaves or flowing water. The echolocation calls of different bat species have distinctive acoustic signatures. Some use frequency-modulated sweeps that move rapidly from high to low pitches. Others use constant frequency calls that maintain the same pitch. Still others combine elements of both approaches. These different acoustic niches allow multiple bat species to hunt in the same area without interfering with each other's echolocation systems. A harmony of difference that enhances rather than diminishes the whole. In the night sky, these various sound patterns create an intricate sonic tapestry, an orchestra of ultrasonic voices mapping the darkness, calling to mates, warning of dangers, celebrating successful hunts. This complex soundscape exists beyond human hearing, yet fills the night air with a rich symphony of life and awareness. As your consciousness continues to drift, imagine tuning into these subtle frequencies all around you. The barely perceptible sounds of your own body, the quiet humming of electronic devices, the distant whispers of wind through trees or around buildings, the gentle breathing of others nearby if you're not alone. Layer upon layer of sound, creating a cocoon of gentle awareness that surrounds you completely. During long-distance migrations, some bat species fly hundreds or even thousands of miles. The Mexican free-tailed bats of Bracken Cave in Texas travel up to 1,000 miles to their winter homes in Mexico. These journeys often take place at high altitudes, with bats flying as high as 10,000 feet. They navigate using a combination of echolocation, vision, magnetic sensitivity, and possibly even stellar orientation. Recognizing landmarks, following river courses, and maintaining consistent direction despite changing winds. This innate ability to find their way across vast distances reminds us of our own inner compass. Our own capacity to navigate life's journey through intuition and inner knowing. Even when the path ahead seems unclear or the destination distant, we carry within us the wisdom to find our way home, to reconnect with our essential nature, to return to our center regardless of how far we've wandered. As night deepens around us, as your body grows heavier and your mind grows quieter, imagine entrusting your journey to this inner wisdom, surrendering the need to navigate consciously, allowing yourself to be guided by deeper currents of knowing, trusting that even in dreams, even in deep sleep, your essential self remains connected to all that sustains you. With each breath becoming slower, with each thought becoming more distant, with each heartbeat more peaceful, we prepare to transition into our next exploration of nocturnal wonders, where we'll discover the mysterious world of slow-moving night creatures and their profound lessons in patience and presence. With each breath becoming deeper, with each moment growing quieter, we transition now from the swift movements of bats to a very different pace of nocturnal life. As we continue our journey through the night world, we encounter creatures who have mastered the art of slowness, the peaceful sloths and other deliberate dwellers of the darkness. While owls command the night with silent wisdom and bats navigate darkness with sonic precision, sloths embody a different kind of nocturnal mastery, the power of patience, conservation, and mindful movement. These remarkable creatures have perfected the art of doing less, yet thriving more. Sloths are among the world's slowest mammals, moving through the canopies of Central and South American rainforests at a pace that seems almost meditative. This extraordinary slowness isn't a limitation but a sophisticated evolutionary strategy, one that has allowed sloths to survive for over 60 million years, far outlasting many faster, seemingly more advanced mammals. As your body settles deeper into comfortable stillness, consider how contrary the sloth's approach is to our modern human emphasis on speed, productivity, and constant activity. These gentle creatures invite us to reconsider our relationship with time and movement, offering a living example of the power of slowness. The three-toed sloth might travel only about 40 yards in a single day, less distance than many of us walk in a single minute. They move so gradually that algae grows on their fur, turning them a greenish color that provides perfect camouflage among the leaves. What might initially seem like a disadvantage, being covered in algae, becomes a remarkable adaptation that helps them blend into their surroundings and avoid predators. This is the first wisdom sloths offer us. Sometimes what appears to be a limitation can become our greatest strength. Their slowness isn't a failure to be fast, it's a completely different and equally valid approach to living. Moving so slowly requires extraordinarily little energy. A sloth's metabolic rate is less than half of what would be expected for a mammal of its size. They maintain a lower body temperature than most mammals and can reduce it further to conserve energy. Their diet of leaves provides relatively little nutrition, yet they thrive on this minimal intake because their entire physiology is built around conservation rather than consumption. Imagine maintaining such perfect efficiency in your own energy systems, using exactly what you need and no more. Finding contentment in simplicity, feeling complete even with less. This wisdom of conservation lies at the heart of the sloth's evolutionary success. Even the sloth's digestion embodies this unhurried approach. Food can take up to a month to pass through their digestive system, about 30 times slower than human digestion. Rather than rushing the process, they extract every possible nutrient from their food through patient, thorough processing. Their multi-chambered stomachs host specialized bacteria that break down the tough cellulose in leaves, transforming what would be indigestible to most mammals into valuable nourishment. As you rest here, notice how your own digestive system works more efficiently when you're relaxed. How slowing down enhances absorption and assimilation. How patience allows for more complete processing, whether of food or experiences or emotions. The sloth's brain also operates at a different tempo. Their neurological processes are slower, their reactions less immediate. But this doesn't make them less intelligent, simply differently intelligent. They excel at energy conservation, memory of food sources, and navigation through their forest home. Their intelligence is perfectly adapted to their ecological niche and lifestyle needs. This offers another insight. Intelligence has many forms, many expressions, many tempos. The racing analytical mind is just one kind of intelligence. There's also the intelligence of patience, of observation, of energy conservation, of harmony with environment. The sloth embodies these quieter forms of wisdom that our fast-paced human world often overlooks. Perhaps most remarkably, sloths sleep far less than their reputation suggests, only about 10 hours per day, comparable to many humans. The difference lies not in how much they rest but in how they move when awake. Even during active periods, they maintain their deliberate pace, their mindful presence, their conservation of energy. They've mastered the art of being awake yet restful, active yet calm. This balance represents another profound teaching. Rest isn't just about sleep, but about how we move through our waking hours. The quality of presence we bring to each moment affects our energy more than the quantity of sleep we get. The sloth teaches us that restfulness can permeate all our activities, not just our designated sleep time. The muscles of a sloth are uniquely adapted for hanging upside down from branches. While most mammals would struggle to maintain such a position for more than a few minutes, sloths can remain suspended effortlessly for hours or even days. Their specialized tendons and ligaments lock into place, requiring almost no energy to maintain their grip. Even when a sloth dies, it may remain hanging from a branch, so effortless is this state for their uniquely designed bodies. Imagine finding such effortlessness in your own rest position, where holding still requires no strain, where relaxation happens naturally, without forcing, where gravity works with you rather than against you. As you lie here, feel how your body can surrender more completely to the surface supporting it, releasing any unnecessary tension, finding the same effortless poise that sloths embody. The fur of a sloth grows in the opposite direction from most mammals, from belly to back, rather than back to belly. This allows rainwater to drain efficiently while they hang upside down. Within this specially directed fur lives an entire ecosystem: algae, fungi, moths, beetles, and other insects that exist nowhere else on Earth but in the microhabitat of sloth fur. Each adult sloth hosts a miniature world, a community of tiny lives that depend on the sloth's particular way of being. This symbiotic relationship offers yet another lesson. Our slowness, our stillness, our unique way of moving through the world creates space for other forms of life to flourish around us. When we rush constantly, we may disrupt the delicate ecosystems of relationship and community that could otherwise thrive in our presence. Once a week, sloths make their way down from the canopy to the forest floor to defecate, a journey that exposes them to considerable danger from predators. Scientists puzzled over this seemingly unnecessary risk until they discovered it completes an important ecological cycle. The sloth's waste fertilizes the soil around the trees where they feed, while moths living in their fur lay eggs in the dome, later returning to the sloth to continue the cycle. What appears to be inefficient or risky behavior actually maintains a complex web of relationships that benefits the entire forest ecosystem. This reminds us that what looks like inefficiency from one perspective might be perfect wisdom from another. The paths and patterns that make little sense to our limited understanding often serve purposes beyond what we can immediately perceive. When moving through the canopy, sloths never leave one branch before having a secure grip on the next. They literally never take a leap of faith, instead ensuring they always have at least 3 limbs anchored at any given moment. This methodical approach to movement means they almost never fall, despite spending their lives high above the forest floor. There's wisdom in this careful progression as well, the understanding that secure transitions require overlap, that we move most safely when we don't completely release our hold on where we've been until we have a firm grasp on where we're going. Radical leaps may look dramatic, but gradual, overlapping transitions often lead to more sustainable change. The eyes of a sloth have specialized muscles that allow them to rotate their eyeballs independently of their head position. This means they can look around without moving their head, conserving even that small amount of energy. These eyes see color poorly in daylight but function well in low light, allowing sloths to be more active at dusk, dawn, and even night, times when many predators rest. As nocturnal or crepuscular creatures, active at twilight, sloths inhabit the in-between times, the threshold spaces between day and night. Perhaps this contributes to their dreamlike quality, their apparent existence slightly outside the rush tempo of the daylight world. They remind us of the value of these transition times, these liminal spaces where perception shifts and different possibilities emerge. The heart rate of a sloth at rest is about 30% lower than would be expected for a mammal its size. During movement, this rate hardly increases at all, evidence of their extraordinary energetic efficiency. Even when threatened, their physiological stress response is muted compared to most mammals. Their entire nervous system seems calibrated to a different rhythm, a slower wavelength, a more spacious experience of time. As you continue to relax more deeply, notice if your own heart rate has slowed. If your breathing has become more efficient, requiring less effort for more oxygen. If your nervous system has downshifted to a calmer, more restful state. You are experiencing in your own body some of what the sloth embodies as its natural way of being. Baby sloths learn by watching their mothers, staying with them for up to 2 years, much longer than many mammals of similar size. Young sloths cling to their mothers continuously for the first few weeks of life, then gradually begin exploring nearby branches while remaining within her sight. This extended learning period allows for the transmission of crucial knowledge about which leaves are safe to eat, which trees provide the best shelter, and how to move through the canopy with maximum efficiency. This patient approach to learning and development reminds us that some forms of knowledge can't be rushed. The deepest wisdom often requires extended observation, gradual integration, and patient embodiment rather than rapid acquisition. Real mastery takes time to develop, whether we're learning to navigate forest canopies or cultivate inner peace. The slow movements of sloths require remarkable strength. Hanging by their limbs for virtually their entire lives builds powerful muscles despite their unhurried pace. A sloth can turn its head 270 degrees, almost as far as an L, allowing it to scan for predators without moving its body. They can also extend their arms to twice the length of their torso, reaching distant branches without repositioning their entire body. This combination of strength and efficiency shows that power doesn't always manifest as speed or intensity. Sometimes the greatest strength appears as the ability to move minimally and effectively, to conserve rather than expend, to wait rather than rush. The sloth's power lies in its patience, its restraint, its selective application of energy exactly where and when it's needed. As we attune to the sloth's tempo, we might notice our own thoughts beginning to slow and space themselves further apart. Our sensations becoming more vivid yet somehow less demanding. Our awareness expanding to include more of our surroundings while remaining peacefully centered. This is the gift of the sloth's tempo, a different relationship with time itself. Even the sloth's breathing embodies this quality of unhurried efficiency. They take only about 1/3 as many breaths per minute as humans do. These breaths are deeper, more complete, more efficient in their exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Rather than many shallow breaths, they take fewer, fuller ones, another expression of their less is more approach to life's basic functions. Your own breath may have naturally adopted a similar pattern by now. Fewer breaths per minute. Greater depth with each breath. More complete exhalation before the next inhalation begins. This breathing pattern signals to your entire system that it's safe to rest deeply, that resources are abundant, that no rush reaction is required. With each breath becoming slower, with each thought becoming quieter, with each sensation growing more peaceful, we prepare to journey even deeper into the wisdom of slowness, exploring the most meditative qualities of these masters of unhurried living. As your body grows heavier and your mind grows quieter, we continue our exploration of the sloth's world, moving now into an even deeper appreciation of slowness, allowing each word, each image, each breath to unfold at the sloth's own unhurried pace. The three-fingered hand of a sloth, with its curved, hook-like claws, is perfectly designed for hanging. These specialized appendages allow the sloth to remain suspended beneath branches with almost no muscular effort. The weight of the body pulls the tendons taut, locking the claws in place, creating a grip so secure that sloths can sleep while hanging, can eat while hanging, can even give birth while hanging, never losing their connection to the safety of the canopy. Imagine your own grip on wakefulness gradually loosening. Just as the sloth can hang without effort, you can drift towards sleep without struggle, without strain. There is no need to hold on, no need to control the process, only to allow the natural systems of your body to carry you, suspend you, support you completely. When a sloth moves along a branch, it does so with a rhythmic alternation, first extending one limb forward, securing its grip, then the next, and the next, never moving the fourth limb until the first three are anchored. This creates a continuous connection, an unbroken link between where it has been and where it is going, ensuring that the journey, however slow, is steady and secure. Your own journey toward deep sleep follows a similar pattern, each system of your body gradually shifting into its rest state, your muscles releasing tension, your organs slowing their activity, your brain transitioning through different wave patterns, each stage building upon the previous one, creating a secure passage toward complete renewal. Beneath the sloth's fur lies a dense undercoat that traps air, providing insulation and buoyancy. Despite their awkward appearance on land, sloths are excellent swimmers, moving through water with slow, deliberate strokes, able to hold their breath for up to 40 minutes. They can reduce their already slow metabolism even further when submerged, their heart rate dropping to less than a third of its normal pace, allowing them to conserve oxygen with remarkable efficiency. This adaptability reveals another dimension of the sloth's wisdom, the ability to adjust to changing circumstances without losing their essential nature, to maintain their unhurried approach even in environments that seem to demand something different, to find their own rhythm regardless of external conditions. As you rest here, feel your own adaptability, your capacity to find peace even amid life's changing currents, your ability to maintain inner stillness regardless of outer circumstances. Just as the sloth swims with the same deliberate grace with which it climbs, you can carry your essential tranquility through all of life's varied situations. The facial structure of a sloth creates the appearance of a perpetual gentle smile, their eyes large and round, giving them an expression of calm contentment. This distinctive appearance has endeared them to humans across cultures and generations, inspiring protection efforts and conservation programs. Their seeming serenity touches something deep within us, perhaps reminding us of a pace and presence we innately recognize as wholesome, as balanced, as true. This natural expression of contentment reveals something important. The sloth doesn't strive to appear peaceful, doesn't attempt to cultivate tranquility. It simply embodies these qualities as its natural state of being. The smile isn't put on like a mask, but emerges from the design of its very existence, from its harmony with its own nature. Your own face gradually adopts a similar quality as you drift towards sleep, the tiny muscles around your eyes softening, your jaw releasing tension, your forehead becoming smooth and untroubled. This isn't an expression you need to create or maintain, but one that emerges naturally as you align with your own deeper rhythms, your own essential nature. The world experienced through a sloth's perception must be vastly different from our own. Movement that seems unbearably slow to human perception likely feels perfectly paced to the sloth. Their neurological processing, their metabolic cycles, their entire relationship with time operates at a fundamentally different scale. They inhabit the same physical world we do, yet experience it through an entirely different temporal lens. This reminder of the relativity of time invites us to question our own assumptions about pace, about productivity, about the right speed at which life should unfold. Perhaps there is no universal tempo, only the rhythm that aligns with each being's nature and purpose. The hummingbird's blur of wings is neither better nor worse than the sloth's gentle crawl. Each perfectly expresses its own essence, its own unique relationship with life's energy. As your consciousness drifts between thoughts, between images, between sensations, you touch this more fluid relationship with time. The moments between sleep and wakefulness stretch and expand. 5 minutes might feel like an hour, or an hour like mere moments. In this hypnagogic state, you experience directly the malleability of time, its subjective nature, its dependence on the observer's state of consciousness. When observing the canopy from below, it can be almost impossible to spot a sloth. Even when moving, they do so with such gradual motions that they appear as nothing more than a slight swaying of leaves, a subtle shifting of shadows. Their camouflage comes not just from their coloration but from their pace, a living demonstration that sometimes the most effective way to navigate challenging environments is not to overcome them with speed or force, but to move so harmoniously with them that you become nearly invisible. This wisdom of harmonious movement rather than forceful action echoes through many spiritual traditions. the Taoist concept of wu-wei or non-doing, the Buddhist practice of non-attachment, the Christian contemplative surrender to divine will, all recognize that sometimes the most powerful way to be in the world is to move with it rather than against it, to align with its currents rather than impose our will upon them. Your journey into sleep embodies this same principle. You cannot force sleep to come, cannot demand that consciousness cease. You can only create the conditions for sleep to arise naturally. Then surrender to the process, allowing it to unfold at its own perfect pace, in its own perfect way. The respiration of a sleeping sloth becomes so subtle that it can be difficult to detect. The rise and fall of the chest reduced to the barest minimum required to sustain life. This extreme efficiency in breathing represents the sloth's mastery of energy conservation, using exactly what is needed and nothing more, finding sufficiency in the minimum, abundance and simplicity. Your own breathing gradually approaches this state of refined efficiency, the inhalation providing precisely the oxygen needed, the exhalation releasing exactly the carbon dioxide to be cleared. No excess effort, no wasted movement, just the perfect exchange between your body and the surrounding air, between your being and the larger world of which it is a part. When a mother sloth gives birth, the infant emerges already covered in fur, eyes wide open, tiny claws fully formed, ready to grip its mother's body. The baby instinctively crawls up to the mother's chest, where it will remain, clinging to her fur, for the first weeks of life, learning by watching, by feeling her movements, by sharing her experience of the world. This intimate connection provides not just physical protection but a direct transmission of the sloth way of being, a bodily education in slowness, patience, and presence. This embodied learning reminds us that the deepest wisdom is often absorbed rather than studied, felt rather than thought, experienced rather than explained. As you continue to relax more deeply, your body is learning the wisdom of surrender, of release, of trust, not through intellectual understanding but through direct experience, through the felt sense of letting go completely. The average lifespan of a wild sloth is approximately 20 to 30 years, with some individuals living considerably longer. This longevity is remarkable for a mammal of its size, especially one with such a limited diet and slow metabolism. Their unhurried lifestyle, it seems, contributes to their extended lifespans. Their conservation of energy, their minimal stress responses, their deliberate movements all support long-term well-being rather than immediate advantage. This correlation between pace and longevity appears across many species. Turtles, whales, certain trees, many of the longest-lived organisms are also among the slowest growing, the most deliberate in their development, the most conservative in their energy expenditure. There seems to be wisdom in this relationship between tempo and longevity, between patience and persistence, between conservation and continuation. For tonight's rest, and perhaps beyond, consider the possibility that slowing down isn't merely a luxury or an indulgence, but a fundamental principle of sustainable living, of lasting well-being, of enduring presence in the world. The territory of a sloth is remarkably small compared to most mammals of similar size, often encompassing just a few acres of forest, sometimes as few as 5 to 10 trees. Within this limited space, they find everything they need: abundant food from familiar leaves, secure resting places in known branches, protection from predators through intimate knowledge of hiding spots and escape routes. Their needs are simple, their contentment complete within their small but sufficient world. This contentment with enough rather than more offers a profound counterpoint to human tendencies toward expansion, accumulation, and constant growth. The sloth demonstrates that richness can be found in depth rather than breadth, in knowing a few things deeply rather than many things superficially, in being fully present to a limited territory rather than constantly seeking new horizons. As sleep approaches, notice the sufficiency of this moment, the completeness available in just being here, breathing, resting, existing. No need for more experiences, more thoughts, more sensations. Everything necessary for profound renewal already present in this simple state of receptive stillness. The silence of a sloth is nearly absolute. Unlike many forest mammals, they rarely vocalize, using sound only in specific circumstances like mating or when infants call to their mothers. This acoustic minimalism further conserves their energy and protects them from predators that might locate them by sound. But perhaps more significantly, it creates space for listening, for receiving the forest's full symphony of sounds without adding their own noise. This receptive silence invites us to consider our own relationship with sound and expression. How often do we speak when listening would serve better? How frequently do we add our voice when silence would create more space for understanding? How regularly do we fill quiet moments with noise rather than receiving their gift of spaciousness? As your mind grows quieter, as internal dialogue gradually subsides, you enter the sloth's domain of receptive silence. Not an empty silence but a full one, rich with subtle sounds previously masked by mental chatter. Abundant with awareness that needs no words to experience its own nature. Complete in its simple presence to what is. The internal temperature of a sloth fluctuates much more than in most mammals. Rather than maintaining a constant body temperature regardless of environmental conditions, which requires considerable energy, the sloth allows its temperature to rise and fall with its surroundings. This flexibility represents another aspect of the sloth's energy conservation strategy. Another expression of its harmony with its environment rather than resistance to it. Your own body temperature naturally decreases as you approach sleep. This cooling signals to all your systems that it's time for rest and renewal. As you continue to relax, you might notice this pleasant cooling sensation, particularly in your extremities, as circulation patterns shift to support the restoration that deep sleep provides. When rain falls in the forest, sloths don't seek shelter as many animals do. They simply allow the water to flow over their specialized fur. Their outer hair is structured to channel water away from their skin even when hanging upside down. They neither fight against the rain nor rush to escape it, but simply continue their unhurried activities, perfectly adapted to their environment in all its variations. This acceptance of conditions as they are, without resistance, without complaint, without unnecessary adaptation, embodies a profound equanimity. A peace that doesn't depend on circumstances being a particular way. A contentment that remains steady through changing conditions. As you drift closer to sleep, cultivate this same gentle acceptance of your experience exactly as it is. Not needing to change anything. Not wishing for different thoughts or sensations. Simply allowing each moment to be complete in itself. Perfect in its transience. Whole in its passing nature. The evolutionary journey of sloths spans tens of millions of years. Their ancient ancestors were ground-dwelling, bear-sized creatures. Over eons, they gradually adapted to life in the trees, becoming smaller, developing their specialized limbs and claws, refining their digestive systems to process leaves, The modern sloth represents the culmination of countless small changes, each building upon what came before. A testament to the power of gradual, consistent evolution over dramatic, sudden shifts. This evolutionary wisdom reminds us that lasting transformation rarely happens overnight. That sustainable change comes through patient, persistent adjustments rather than radical reinvention. That the most enduring developments often unfold so gradually they're barely perceptible in any single moment. Your own journey into deep sleep follows this same pattern of gentle, gradual transition. Each breath carrying you a little further. Each moment of surrender taking you a little deeper. No sudden break between wakefulness and sleep, but a gentle blending of states. A soft dissolution of boundaries. A peaceful merging into the deeper consciousness that awaits. As we prepare to transition to our next exploration, carry with you the sloth's gift of unhurried presence, the wisdom of its patience, the peace of its acceptance, the strength of its gentleness. Let these qualities infuse your rest throughout this night. And perhaps, like subtle seeds, take root in your waking consciousness as well. With each breath becoming even slower. With each thought becoming even quieter. With each sensation becoming even more peaceful. We prepare to discover the silent world of nocturnal cats and their graceful mastery of darkness. As your eyelids grow heavier, and your breathing becomes deeper, we gently shift our attention from the peaceful sloths to another group of nocturnal masters, the silent hunters of the night, wild cats. From the mighty tiger to the elusive ocelot, these graceful predators embody a different kind of nocturnal wisdom, the art of patient hunting, precise movement, and perfect timing. Unlike the sloths who conserve energy through stillness, or the bats who navigate through sound, cats have perfected the balance between absolute stillness and explosive action. They are living embodiments of potential energy, of coiled readiness, of mindful waiting. And in this waiting, there is a profound peace that we can learn from as we continue our journey toward deep, restorative sleep. Your own household cat, if you have one, carries the ancient wisdom of its wild ancestors. Watch how a domestic cat moves through a room, silent, aware, fully present, and you're witnessing the same movements that evolved over millions of years in forests, grasslands, and mountains across the world. That familiar creature curled on your sofa contains the genetic memory of jaguars, leopards, and lions. As your body sinks deeper into restfulness, imagine the perfect stillness of a wild cat waiting in the darkness. The bobcat in the North American forest. The clouded leopard in the Asian jungle. The serval in the African savanna. Each perfectly adapted to their environment, yet all sharing the same fundamental approach to the night: patience, precision, presence. The eyes of nocturnal cats represent one of evolution's most remarkable adaptations. Behind the captivating color of a cat's eyes lies a complex structure perfectly designed for low-light vision. The pupil can dilate enormously, allowing up to 6 times more light to enter than a human eye. This gives cats the ability to see in light levels 6 times dimmer than what we require. But the cat's night vision doesn't stop there. Behind their retina lies a special reflective layer called the tapetum lucidum, literally bright tapestry in Latin. This mirror-like structure reflects light back through the retina, giving photoreceptors a second chance to capture the light that passed through the first time. This is what creates the eerie eye shine we see when light catches a cat's eyes at night, not light generated by the cat, but light reflected back out after being magnified within the eye. Thanks to this dual system of light gathering and reflection, cats can navigate and hunt in what would appear to us as near total darkness. Where we might see only indistinct shadows, a cat sees a world of details, movements, and possibilities. Your own vision may have adjusted to the darkness of your room by now. Notice how shapes gradually become more distinct. How what initially seemed like uniform darkness reveals subtle variations of shadow. This natural adaptation of human vision offers just a hint of the cat's remarkable ability to find clarity in darkness. Beyond their exceptional vision, a cat's hearing adds another dimension to their nocturnal prowess. Their distinctive ears can independently rotate up to 180 degrees, creating a sophisticated sound location system. The outer ears act as satellite dishes, capturing and funneling sound waves to the inner ear with remarkable precision. A wild cat can hear the faint rustle of a mouse moving through grass from over 30 feet away. They can detect the high-frequency sounds made by rodents that are completely inaudible to human ears. Some desert cats can even hear prey moving beneath the sand, using sound alone to precisely locate their target before pouncing. This acoustic awareness exists in perfect balance with the cat's legendary silence. No matter how acute their own hearing, cats ensure they remain undetected by moving with unparalleled quietness. Each step is placed with deliberate care, weight shifting smoothly from one foot to the next, paw pads absorbing any potential sound of impact. As your awareness becomes more diffuse and your thoughts more distant, you might notice sounds you hadn't perceived before. The subtle rhythms of your own breathing. Distant sounds from outside your room. Perhaps the gentle hum of electronics or the subtle creaking of your home settling for the night. This expanded auditory awareness mirrors, in a small way, the cat's attentive relationship with the soundscape of night. The grace of a wild cat's movement comes from its unique anatomical structure. Unlike humans, cats have no collarbone to connect their shoulders to their skeleton. This gives them extraordinary flexibility, allowing them to squeeze through openings barely wider than their skull. Their spine can flex and extend to a remarkable degree, creating the distinctive arched back we associate with startled house cats, but also enabling the powerful propulsion of a hunting leap. A cat's muscles are designed for both explosive power and sustained tension. They can remain perfectly still in a crouched position for extended periods, muscles ready for immediate action without twitching or trembling. When they do move, they can accelerate from stillness to full speed in just a few steps, or leap up to 6 times their body length in a single bound. Yet for all this potential power, a wild cat's typical movement through the forest is remarkably gentle. They place each paw with such precision that they rarely disturb fallen leaves or break twigs. Their foot placement follows the same track pattern, hind paws stepping almost exactly where front paws just left, minimizing both noise and visible traces of their passage. As you rest here, notice the progressive relaxation of your own muscles. The pleasant heaviness in your limbs. The sense of sinking deeper into the supporting surface. Your body finding its own perfect balance between tone and release, between structure and surrender. The whiskers of a cat, technically called vibrissae, serve as sophisticated sensory organs that further enhance their ability to navigate in darkness. These specialized hairs can detect the slightest changes in air currents, allowing cats to sense nearby objects without seeing or touching them. The root of each whisker connects to a highly innervated follicle, sending detailed information directly to the brain. A cat's whiskers are typically as wide as its body, serving as a built-in measuring system. If the whiskers can pass through an opening without touching the sides, the cat knows its body will fit through as well. In the darkness of night, this tactile awareness allows wild cats to move confidently through dense vegetation without visual guidance. This combination of sensory adaptations, exceptional vision, acute hearing, and sensitive touch creates a rich, multidimensional awareness of the environment. A hunting wild cat doesn't just see its surroundings, it feels them, hears them, senses them with its entire being, creating a complete picture that guides each perfectly placed step. Your own sensory awareness may be shifting now toward a similar integration. Visual impressions behind closed eyelids. Sounds near and far. The feeling of your body against the supporting surface. All merging into a single, unified field of experience that requires no analysis, no categorization, just simple presence. The hunting technique of wild cats embodies a perfect balance of patience and decisive action. A leopard might spend hours stalking a single prey animal, moving only when the target looks away, freezing into complete stillness when attention turns back. This stop-and-go approach might cover less than 100 yards in several hours, a pace that would seem maddeningly slow to humans accustomed to constant movement and immediate results. Yet within this patience lies a profound wisdom. The cat wastes no energy on unnecessary movement. It never rushes, never forces an opportunity, never acts before the perfect moment arrives. It exists in a state of relaxed readiness, conserving energy while remaining fully present and aware. When the moment for action comes, the transition from stillness to movement happens with breathtaking suddenness. A jungle cat can accelerate from perfect stillness to full sprint in a fraction of a second. This explosion of control power represents the culmination of all the patience, all the waiting, all the careful positioning that preceded it. In many ways, the path to sleep follows a similar pattern. A gradual settling, a patient waiting, a gentle releasing of effort, until the moment of transition arrives naturally, without forcing, without struggling. The shift from wakefulness to sleep happening with the same organic rightness as the cat's movement from stillness to action. The tiger, largest of all cats, combines enormous power with surprising stealth. Despite weighing up to 660 pounds, a hunting tiger can move through dense jungle without rustling a leaf. Their distinctive orange and black striped coat, which might seem conspicuous to our eyes, actually creates perfect camouflage in the dappled shadows of forest and tall grass, breaking up their outline and helping them disappear into the background. A tiger's night vision is approximately 6 times better than human vision in low light. They hunt primarily using sight and sound, their enormous whiskers detecting the slightest movements of air as they approach their prey. Their distinctive white ear spots, visible from behind, help tiger cubs follow their mother through dark forests at night. Perhaps most remarkable is the tiger's patient hunting style. They may follow potential prey for days, waiting for the perfect opportunity. This extraordinary patience comes not from tense, effortful concentration but from a deep alignment with their own nature and the rhythms of the forest. The tiger embodies effortless attention, fully present, completely aware, yet utterly relaxed. As your own attention grows more diffuse and your thoughts more distant, you might recognize a similar quality emerging. A wakeful restfulness, an alert tranquility, a presence that requires no effort to maintain because it is your natural state when all striving ceases. The smaller wild cats bring their own special adaptations to night hunting. The margay of Central and South American rainforests can rotate its ankles 180 degrees, allowing it to climb down trees headfirst and hang from branches by its rear feet while using its front paws to catch prey. It's one of the few cats completely adapted for life in the trees, rarely descending to the forest floor. The fishing cat of Southeast Asia has partially webbed feet and a water-resistant coat, allowing it to swim comfortably while hunting fish and crustaceans. Unlike most cats, it doesn't mind getting wet and will dive completely underwater to catch prey, using its paw to scoop fish from beneath the surface. The sand cat of North African and Asian deserts has developed specialized hairs on its feet that both protect against hot sand and muffle the sound of its steps. It can survive without drinking water, obtaining all the moisture it needs from its prey. Its thick fur insulates against both the extreme heat of day and the cold of desert nights. Each of these specialized adaptations represents a unique solution to the challenge of night hunting, a distinctive approach to thriving in darkness. Yet all share the fundamental feel characteristics: patience, precision, presence, and the perfect balance between relaxation and readiness. As sleep approaches, you might find yourself naturally adopting some of these same qualities. Your breathing finding its own perfect rhythm. Your attention neither forced nor scattered but gently present. Your body finding the ideal balance between tone and release. All preparation for the profound renewal that sleep will bring. The social structure of most wild cats differs markedly from the pack behavior of wolves or lions. The majority of wild cats are solitary hunters, coming together only briefly for mating before returning to their independent lives. Yet within this solitude, they maintain complex social networks through scent marking, vocalizations, and occasional encounters. A tiger's territory may overlap with those of several other tigers, particularly females. They avoid direct competition by using the forest as a timeshare, moving through the same areas at different times. This sophisticated spatial and temporal awareness allows multiple predators to utilize the same resources without conflict. Communication between wild cats occurs primarily through scent. Urine marking, claw marking on trees, and feces left in prominent locations create an olfactory map of territories, identities, and reproductive status. A wild cat can tell from a single sniff who passed by, how long ago, and even their physical condition, a chemical language written across the landscape. This balance between solitude and connection offers another form of wisdom. The wildcat neither depends entirely on others nor exists in complete isolation. It maintains its independence while remaining part of a larger community, connected through subtle means that don't require constant physical presence. Your own experience right now might reflect a similar balance. Though you may be physically alone in this moment, you remain connected to the wider world through countless visible and invisible threads. The air you breathe connects you to all breathing beings. The thoughts you think link you to others who have contemplated similar ideas. The very atoms of your body connect you to the ancient stars that forged them. As night deepens around us, the hunting cats of the world continue their patient prowl through forests, grasslands, mountains, and deserts. Their eyes reflect the moonlight as they move with liquid grace between shadow and clearing. Their whiskers detect the slightest movement of air around obstacles. Their ears rotate to capture every subtle sound. Their paws touch the earth with perfect precision, leaving barely a trace of their passing. In their movement, in their awareness, in their patience, we find a model of presence that transcends mere wakefulness. The hunting cat exists in a state beyond the binary of sleeping and waking, a mindful alertness combined with profound calm, an active stillness that wastes no energy yet misses no detail. As your consciousness drifts towards sleep, carry with you the cat's gift of peaceful vigilance, the wisdom of its patience, the grace of its movement, the completeness of its presence. Let these qualities infuse your rest throughout this night, guiding you toward even deeper states of renewal and restoration. With each breath becoming softer, with each thought becoming more distant, with each sensation melting into the next, we prepare to journey even deeper into the night world of wild cats and their profound relationship with darkness, silence, and the perfect moment of transition. As your eyelids grow heavier and your mind grows quieter, we continue our exploration of the wild cats, now moving into an even more peaceful contemplation of these masters of night, allowing each image to form with dreamlike slowness, each sensation to expand with gentle fullness, each thought to drift like moonlight between leaves. The eyes of a wild cat at night, gleaming with reflected moonlight, reveal a special adaptation beyond their enhanced vision. The night-hunting cat possesses a different ratio of rod and cone cells in its retina compared to humans, with many more rods that detect light and shadow, and fewer cones that perceive color. This shift in proportion gives the cat a different experience of the night world, seeing it not in the vibrant colors of day, but in rich gradations of blue-gray twilight, a world where movement and shape take precedence over hue, where patterns emerge from darkness with crystalline clarity. As your own eyes rest behind closed lids, you might imagine this cat-like perception, the world not absent of color but transformed, simplified, revealed in its essential forms rather than its surface appearances. In this gentle visualization, notice how shapes become more important than details. How relationships between objects emerge more clearly when not obscured by the distraction of full-spectrum color. The paw of a wild cat contains specialized pads that serve multiple functions. The central pad and 4 smaller digital pads create a shock-absorbing system that allows for silent movement. These pads contain thousands of touch receptors that provide detailed information about the surface being traversed. Temperature, texture, stability, vibration, all registered through this remarkably sensitive interface between cat and world. Most distinctive are the retractable claws that remain sheathed within the paw when not needed, protected from wear and maintained in needle-sharp condition. When extended for climbing or hunting, these claws provide both traction and weaponry. When retracted during normal movement, they allow for completely silent footfalls. This ability to conceal and reveal power as needed represents another aspect of the cat's consummate efficiency, using resources only when necessary, keeping potential energy stored until precisely the right moment. Your own hands and feet may feel especially heavy now, perhaps tingling slightly with relaxation, or seeming to disappear altogether from your awareness. This pleasant dissolution of boundaries is a natural part of the transition towards sleep, a gradual releasing of the defined sense of where your body ends and the surrounding world begins. The breathing pattern of a resting wild cat slows to remarkable depths. A sleeping tiger might take only 5 to 6 breaths per minute, compared to the 12 to 20 breaths typical for a human at rest. Each breath moves through their system with perfect efficiency, extracting maximum oxygen with minimum effort. This respiratory economy contributes to the cat's energy conservation strategy, allowing them to remain perfectly still for hours while waiting for prey, or to sleep deeply between hunts. Your own breathing has likely slowed considerably since we began this journey, perhaps now approaching the restful rhythm of a sleeping cat. Deep, unhurried, complete. Each exhalation a little longer than the one before. Each inhalation a little smoother than the previous one. This natural deceleration signals to your entire system that it's safe to let go completely. Safe to surrender to the deeper consciousness that awaits beyond wakefulness. The fur of nocturnal wild cats often contains specialized markings that enhance camouflage in low light. The rosettes of a jaguar, the stripes of a tiger, the dappled pattern of an ocelot. These are not merely beautiful designs but sophisticated concealment systems, breaking up the cat's outline against the complex patterns of moonlight and shadow in their habitats. What appears to human eyes as distinctive and visible becomes nearly invisible in the fragmented light of the forest at night. Beyond their visual camouflage, the fur itself is structured for silent movement. Soft, dense undercoat provides insulation while the longer guard hairs create a smooth outer surface that slides noiselessly through vegetation. Even the way fur grows in different directions on different parts of the body serves to streamline movement, minimizing resistance, eliminating sound, perfecting the art of invisible presence. As your awareness drifts more freely now, you might notice how your own presence has become quieter, less defined, more diffuse. Your thoughts no longer announce themselves loudly but appear as gentle suggestions before dissolving again. Your emotions flow as subtle currents rather than pronounced waves. Your very sense of self growing softer around the edges, blending more harmoniously with the darkness and stillness surrounding you. The hunting posture of a wild cat embodies perfect equilibrium between tension and release. When preparing to pounce, the cat's muscles contain tremendous potential energy, yet the body appears completely relaxed. The front shoulders lower slightly. The hind legs coil imperceptibly. The spine aligns in perfect readiness. Yet to an observer, the cat might appear to be simply resting, showing no visible signs of the power about to be unleashed. This ability to remain completely relaxed while perfectly prepared represents mastery beyond mere technique. It shows a profound integration of opposing forces: stillness containing movement, relaxation housing power, peace encompassing potential. The cat never wastes energy on unnecessary tension, on anxious preparation, on premature readiness. It exists in a state of alert tranquility until the precise moment action is required. Your own body now embodies a similar integration, completely supported by the surface beneath you, utterly relaxed in its stillness, yet still maintaining the subtle muscle tone needed for breathing, for circulation, for life itself. Not collapsed but released, not abandoned but surrendered. Perfect equilibrium between structure and softness. The nocturnal rhythm of wild cats follows a distinctive pattern. Unlike humans who typically consolidate sleep into a single extended period, cats alternate between shorter periods of deep rest and quiet wakefulness throughout the day and night. A jaguar might sleep for several hours after a successful hunt, then rise for a period of grooming and territorial patrolling, then rest again before resuming hunting. This polyphasic sleep pattern keeps them attuned to the changing activities of both prey and potential threats. Most fascinating is the cat's ability to transition almost instantly between states of consciousness. A sleeping leopard can move from deep sleep to full alertness in seconds if a sound or scent signals potential danger or opportunity. This immediate wakefulness doesn't come with the grogginess humans often experience. There is no confused middle state, no disoriented transition, just a clean shift from one complete state to another. Yet despite this capacity for instant alertness, cats spend up to 16 hours of each day in some form of rest. Recognizing that conservation of energy between essential activities serves their overall success. Their impressive physical capabilities are supported by this abundant restoration. Their speed and strength made possible by their equally impressive capacity for profound rest. As your own consciousness fluctuates gently between thoughts and spaces between thoughts, between awareness of body sensations and periods of complete absence of physical feeling, you experience your own natural rhythm of attention and release. Not forcing continued focus, not resisting the approaching tide of sleep, but allowing awareness to rise and fall with its own organic pattern. The grooming behavior of wild cats serves multiple purposes beyond cleanliness. When a jaguar or leopard meticulously cleans its fur after feeding, it removes scents that might alert future prey. The rough tongue with its specialized backward-facing papillae not only cleans but also distributes natural oils through the coat, maintaining water resistance and proper insulation. The rhythmic action of licking stimulates blood circulation and reinforces social bonds when performed between individuals. Perhaps most relevant to our journey towards sleep is the deeply meditative quality of a cat's grooming routine. The slow, methodical attention to each part of the body. The complete absorption in the present moment. The repetitive, rhythmic movements that induce a trance-like state. Grooming serves as a form of self-soothing. A transition activity between the intensity of hunting and the surrender of deep rest. Your mind may have found its own soothing rhythm by now. Thoughts becoming less verbal and more visual. Less analytical and more impressionistic. Less directed and more associative. This natural unwinding of cognitive intensity prepares the way for the deeper restoration of sleep. Just as the cat's grooming prepares its body and mind for profound rest. The territory of a large wild cat can encompass remarkable diversity. A mountain lion in North America might range across an area of up to 300 square miles, moving through forests, canyons, meadows, and rocky outcrops. A tiger's territory can include marshland, grassland, and dense jungle. Within these varied landscapes, the cat knows every feature intimately. Every cave that might serve as shelter. Every game trail that might yield prey. Every water source that attracts animals during drought. This knowledge isn't maintained through constant patrol but through an extraordinary spatial memory. Wild cats create detailed mental maps of their territories, remembering the location of every significant feature even when returning after extended absences. They navigate not by conscious calculation but through a body knowledge that integrates visual landmarks, scent markers, familiar sounds, and remembered experiences. As you drift closer to sleep, your own spatial awareness gradually transforms. The sharp edges of your surroundings softening. The boundaries between body and environment becoming less distinct. Your proprioceptive sense, your awareness of your body's position in space, gently diffusing into a more generalized feeling of presence. This dissolution of defined space is a natural part of the transition from waking consciousness to sleep consciousness. When wild cats sleep, they often arrange their bodies in distinctive positions that balance vulnerability with readiness. The curl position protects vital organs while conserving body heat, yet allows for quick response if needed. The Sphinx position with paws tucked beneath the body elevates the head for continued environmental awareness even during rest. The side sprawl permits deeper relaxation during secure times and hidden locations. Most remarkable is the cat's capacity to adjust its sleep depth according to circumstances. In exposed locations, sleep remains light, with ears still rotating towards sounds and eyes opening at the slightest disturbance. In secure dens or elevated resting spots, sleep can deepen dramatically, with complete muscle relaxation and even dreams evidenced by twitching paws and facial movements. Your own body has likely found its perfect sleep position now. The arrangement that provides maximum comfort and security for your unique structure. There's no need to adjust or improve this position. No need to evaluate or assess your comfort. Only to allow yourself to settle ever more deeply into this natural posture. This intuitive arrangement that your body has wisely chosen. The dream life of wild cats remains largely mysterious to science, but observation suggests they experience rich dream states similar to other mammals. During REM sleep, tigers and jaguars show the same rapid eye movements, muscle twitches, and altered brain activity that characterize dreaming in humans and other species. They may relive hunting experiences, process territorial information, or experience forms of consciousness completely different from anything we can imagine. What might a leopard dream as it sleeps on a wide branch high above the African savanna? What memories or instincts might flow through the sleeping mind of a lynx curled in a snow-covered den? What ancestral wisdom might visit a jaguar resting in the tangled roots of a rainforest tree? Though we cannot know with certainty, we can appreciate that these magnificent creatures likely share with us the experience of consciousness transforming during sleep, of awareness taking different forms as the brain moves through different stages of rest. Your own dreams may begin to form at the edges of awareness now. Fragments of images, impressions of places, echoes of emotions. The threshold between waking and dreaming growing increasingly permeable. The transition happening not as an abrupt shift but as a gentle blending. A soft dissolving of one state into another. The aging process in wild cats proceeds with the same dignity that characterizes their lives. An older tiger moves with slightly less speed but often greater precision, compensating for reduced physical power with increased hunting wisdom. The experienced jaguar may hunt in more energy-efficient ways, relying more on perfect positioning than raw strength. The senior mountain lion might focus on prey requiring less chase and more ambush, adapting its approach to accommodate changing capabilities. This graceful adaptation to life's changes reflects a wisdom beyond mere survival. The ability to adjust without resistance, to flow with natural processes rather than fighting against them, to find new forms of effectiveness when old patterns no longer serve. The wildcat neither denies the reality of time's passage nor surrenders prematurely to limitation, but continuously discovers the perfect expression of its nature within present circumstances. As your consciousness continues its journey towards sleep, embrace this same wisdom of gentle adaptation. No resistance to the natural process unfolding. No clinging to wakefulness when sleep approaches. No forcing of sleep when awareness persists. Only a peaceful allowing of each moment to be exactly as it is, and to transform naturally into what comes next. As darkness deepens around us, as your breath grows ever slower, as your thoughts become ever more distant, the wild cats of the world continue their ancient dance with night, some hunting with patient precision, some resting in perfect security, some moving with silent grace between shadow and moonlight, all embodying their nature completely, without effort, without doubt, without separation between what they are and what they do. In this final moment before we transition to our next exploration, imagine yourself blessed with the gifts of these magnificent creatures. The patience that knows the value of waiting, the attention that misses nothing yet attaches to nothing, the balance between relaxation and readiness, the wisdom that navigates darkness not through fear but through heightened awareness, the perfect rightness of being exactly what you are, with each breath becoming softer, with each thought becoming more diffuse, with each heartbeat more peaceful. We prepare to discover the last realm of our nocturnal journey, where we'll explore the most meditative aspects of night and the creatures who have made darkness their sanctuary. As your consciousness drifts deeper towards sleep, we enter now the most peaceful realm of our nocturnal journey, a space of profound stillness and gentle surrender. Here, in this quietest sanctuary of our exploration, we discover perhaps the most remarkable of all nocturnal adaptations, birds that sleep while soaring through the night sky. Masters of rest and motion, guardians of the boundary between earth and stars. Imagine floating now, weightless, suspended between waking and dreaming, just as these remarkable birds are suspended between ocean and sky. Your breath flowing in soft rhythm, your thoughts becoming more distant with each moment, your awareness expanding beyond the boundaries of ordinary perception. The great frigate bird, with its magnificent wingspan of over 7 feet, can stay aloft for up to 2 months without ever touching land or water, soaring above tropical oceans day and night, riding warm air currents with barely a wing movement. These birds have developed the extraordinary ability to sleep while flying, a capacity that transcends our usual understanding of rest and consciousness. Unlike the hunting focus of owls, unlike the echolocation precision of bats, unlike the patient stillness of cats, these high-flying masters have developed a different relationship with the night, one in which consciousness itself transforms into something beyond our familiar categories of asleep or awake, receptive or alert, present or absent. Scientific research has revealed that frigate birds and albatrosses can enter a state of unihemispheric slow-wave sleep, where one half of the brain sleeps while the other half remains sufficiently alert to maintain flight, to adjust for wind changes, to navigate across vast expanses of open ocean. This remarkable ability allows for necessary neural restoration without ever needing to descend from the safety of the open sky. As you rest here, your own brain gradually shifting towards sleep patterns, consider how these birds embody a wisdom beyond either or thinking. They are neither fully asleep nor fully awake, neither completely at rest nor entirely active. They exist in a harmonious integration of apparent opposites, a both-and state that encompasses seemingly contradictory experiences simultaneously. The patterns of brain waves in a sleep-flying bird create a fascinating rhythm. While one hemisphere shows the slow delta waves characteristic of deep sleep, the other maintains the faster patterns associated with wakeful attention, after a period ranging from a few minutes to several hours. The hemispheres switch roles, allowing both sides of the brain to receive essential restoration while maintaining continuous flight. This alternation happens with perfect smoothness. No disruption to flight path. No period of confusion or disorientation. Just a gentle transition from one balanced state to another. The bird's body continues its subtle adjustments to air currents, its wings occasionally shifting position with unconscious precision, while consciousness itself flows between different states of awareness. Your own consciousness now moves in similar patterns. Thoughts arising and dissolving, awareness focusing and expanding, states of mind transitioning with the same natural grace as clouds changing shape in a gentle breeze. No need to direct this process. No need to control these transitions. Only to allow them their natural rhythm and flow. The albatross, with the largest wingspan of any living bird, up to 11 feet from tip to tip, embodies this flying sleep with particular majesty. These birds can circumnavigate the entire Southern Ocean in a continuous journey of thousands of miles, staying aloft for up to 40 days without landing. Their wings are designed for dynamic soaring, taking advantage of different wind speeds at different altitudes, allowing them to travel enormous distances with minimal energy expenditure. During long ocean crossings, the albatross enters extended periods of autopilot flight. The conscious control of moment-to-moment wing adjustment surrenders to deeper systems, muscle memory and instinct guiding the precise tilts and curves that harness ocean winds. This liberation from constant conscious control creates the space for sleep to occur within ongoing movement, for restoration to happen without interrupting journey. How different this is from our usual understanding of rest as complete cessation of activity, as withdrawal from the world, as conscious disengagement. These magnificent birds reveal another possibility, renewal within continuation. restoration within journey, peace within movement. As your body grows heavier and your mind grows quieter, you might recognize a similar quality emerging in your own experience. The possibility of profound rest even as certain functions continue. The maintenance of essential rhythms even as conscious control recedes. The discovery of peace not as absence of activity but as harmony within it. The eyes of sleep-flying birds show distinct differences from those of land-bound sleepers. During unihemispheric sleep, the eye connected to the sleeping hemisphere closes completely, while the eye connected to the wakeful hemisphere remains partially open, scanning the horizon, monitoring for changes in weather or the approach of other birds. This creates the unusual sight of a bird with one eye open and one eye closed, physically manifesting its simultaneous sleeping and waking state. Neurological studies suggest that this capacity for split consciousness may be far more sophisticated than simple division between alert and rest states. The wakeful hemisphere appears capable of complex navigation calculations, memory storage, environmental monitoring, and coordination with the autonomic nervous system, all while the sleeping hemisphere undergoes the essential neural maintenance that all brains require. This remarkable ability reminds us that consciousness exists on a spectrum rather than in binary states, that our own awareness flows through many gradations between sleeping and waking, that restoration can occur in many forms beyond our conventional understanding of sleep. As your own awareness continues to shift and transform, notice how you can simultaneously experience different states. Part of you may feel deeply relaxed while another part remains gently alert. Part of you may have surrendered completely while another part observes the process. This multiplicity of consciousness is not fragmentation but richness, not confusion but complexity. The natural capacity of awareness to manifest in many forms at once. The flight path of sleep-soaring birds often follows predictable atmospheric patterns. The great frigate bird climbs to altitudes of up to 2 miles during the day, using thermal currents to gain elevation with minimal effort. Then, as night falls, it gradually descends to lower altitudes in a series of gentle gliding curves. This nocturnal descent happens in slow motion, sometimes lasting the entire night, with the bird losing only a few feet of altitude each minute. During this extraordinarily gentle descent, the frigate bird enters its deepest sleep periods. The reduced need for navigational decisions, the predictable air patterns, the absence of obstacles, all create ideal conditions for more extensive neural rest. Yet even in this optimized state, awareness remains distributed. Presence continues in modified form. Connection with environment persists through subtle channels. Imagine your own consciousness descending with similar gentleness, gradually releasing altitude, slowly surrendering control, gently gliding toward deeper levels of rest, not falling or crashing into sleep, but floating downward with perfect trust in the currents that carry you. The albatross heart beats at only about 3 to 4% of its maximum possible rate during sleep flight. This remarkable conservation creates the metabolic conditions for extended journeys without food or rest. The breathing slows to match this reduced circulatory demand. The body temperature may drop slightly to further conserve energy. Yet within this state of profound conservation, the bird maintains precise control of its massive wings, perfect balance in often turbulent air, and accurate navigation across featureless ocean expanses. This integration of deep rest with essential functioning offers a beautiful template for our own relationship with sleep. Not as complete shutdown, not as total disconnection, but as a harmonious rebalancing of systems, a shift in energy allocation, a wise redistribution of resources toward restoration while maintaining necessary continuity. Your own physiological systems are likely shifting in similar ways now. Heart rate slowing to its rest tempo, breathing finding its sleep rhythm, body temperature adjusting to support optimal restoration, all while maintaining the essential continuity of being, the unbroken thread of existence that runs through all states of consciousness. Most fascinating perhaps is how these birds sense approaching weather changes even while partially asleep. Their heightened sensitivity to subtle shifts in air pressure, to changes in humidity, to variations in wind patterns, allows them to adjust course or altitude long before storms become visible. This environmental attunement doesn't require active, analytical awareness. It happens through more direct channels of perception, through what we might call bodily knowing or intuitive recognition. This capacity for deep knowing beyond conventional consciousness reveals another dimension of awareness, one that continues functioning even as ordinary cognition restfully subsides. These birds remind us that intelligence exists in many forms beyond the thinking mind, that wisdom can operate through channels we rarely access in our word-oriented, concept-centered waking state. As your analytical mind gradually surrenders to sleep, you might notice other forms of knowing becoming more accessible. Intuitive recognitions arriving without verbal formulation, emotional understandings emerging without logical structure, bodily wisdom operating without conscious direction. These alternate channels of intelligence don't disappear during sleep but often become more prominent as conceptual thinking recedes. The feather structure of soaring seabirds represents an engineering marvel that supports their continuous flight. Each primary flight feather can be individually adjusted, rotating slightly along its axis to modify airflow. The structure includes specialized covert feathers that streamline the wing surface, reducing turbulence and drag. Most remarkably, the microscopic structure of these feathers includes interlocking barbules that can separate slightly in strong winds and reconnect when conditions stabilize, creating a self-adjusting wing surface that requires no conscious control to maintain optimal form. This intelligence built into physical structure, this wisdom embedded in material form, creates the foundation for sleep during flight. The bird doesn't need to constantly monitor and adjust each feather. The design itself handles much of the necessary adaptation to changing conditions. Much as your own body knows how to continue breathing, circulating blood, and maintaining countless other functions without your conscious direction during sleep. As your awareness continues to shift toward deeper states, notice how much wisdom operates through your physical form without requiring your conscious participation. The perfect timing of your heartbeat, the precise exchange of gases in your lungs, the intricate dance of neurochemicals preparing your brain for sleep, all proceed with exquisite intelligence that doesn't depend on your thinking mind. The navigation of sleep-flying birds across thousands of miles of open ocean remains one of nature's most remarkable mysteries. Without landmarks, without constant stars, due to cloudy nights, without the benefit of fully wakeful attention, these birds somehow maintain accurate course toward distant islands or continental coastlines. Scientists believe they integrate multiple sources of information: the position of the sun and stars when visible, the Earth's magnetic field, patterns of ocean waves, even scents carried on the wind, creating a multi-sensory map that guides them even through partial consciousness. Like these extraordinary navigators, your own being knows the way forward even without your conscious guidance. Your body knows how to move through the cycles of sleep. Your nervous system knows how to shift between different brainwave patterns. Your mind knows how to process the day's experiences through dreams and other sleep phenomena. This journey requires no mapping from your waking self, no directions from your thinking mind. As sleep approaches more closely now, trust in this innate navigational wisdom, this knowing that transcends thinking, this intelligence that operates most freely when conscious control relaxes its grip. Just as the albatross surrenders to wind currents while maintaining its ultimate direction, you can surrender to sleep while trusting the deeper currents of your being. When frigate birds and albatrosses finally return to land after weeks or months aloft, they enter a period of more conventional rest. Their sleep becomes bilateral, with both hemispheres entering slow wave patterns simultaneously. Their physical systems undergo deeper restoration. Their neurological patterns reset and rebalance. This rhythm between extended partial sleep during journey and complete sleep upon arrival creates a sustainable cycle that supports both continuous movement and necessary restoration. This alternation between different modes of rest offers another insight for our own relationship with sleep. Sometimes we too experience periods of partial rest, of incomplete surrender, of sleep that maintains certain vigilance. Other times we enter profound, complete letting go, descending into the deepest levels of restoration. Both have their place in the natural rhythm of consciousness. Both serve the ongoing journey of being. As your awareness continues its gentle transition, allow yourself to trust whatever form of rest arrives tonight, whether deep and complete or partial and intermittent, whether filled with dreams or dreamless stillness, whether lasting through the night or interspersed with wakeful moments. Trust that your being knows what form of restoration you need most. Just as the birds know whether to soar or land, whether to engage unihemispheric or bilateral sleep, the communal dimension of albatross life adds another layer to their sleep patterns. These birds often form lifelong pair bonds and return to the same nesting sites year after year. During the periods when they're on land together, pairs engage in elaborate synchronizations of movement, vocalizations, and rest patterns. They sleep side by side, their breathing and subtle movements falling into shared rhythm. This social dimension of rest creates bonds that persist even through the months of solitary ocean soaring. Even in their most isolated moments, flying alone over vast oceanic expanses, albatrosses carry this connection. This capacity to maintain relationship across physical separation, to hold communal bonds even in solitude, offers another form of wisdom for our understanding of consciousness. The recognition that connection persists beyond immediate proximity, that relationship continues through separation, that togetherness exists in forms beyond physical presence. As sleep draws nearer, you might sense your own connections persisting beyond the boundaries of waking awareness. The bonds that link you to loved ones continuing even as consciousness transforms. The relationships that form your social world remaining present in modified form. The wider web of life to which you belong holding you even as individual awareness dissolves into sleep. With each breath becoming softer. With each thought becoming more distant. With each sensation growing more diffuse, we prepare to transition to our final exploration of the night, where we'll discover the gentlest nocturnal beings and their silent wisdom of surrender and transformation. As your consciousness drifts ever closer to the threshold of sleep, we enter now the final contemplation of our nocturnal journey, the most gentle realm of darkness, where we discover the quietest beings of the night, the silent dancers of moonlight, moths and fireflies whose ephemeral existence embodies the very essence of surrender and transformation. In this deepest state of relaxation, as your breath flows like the softest breeze through summer leaves, as your thoughts become as weightless as mist rising from evening meadows, allow your awareness to merge with these most delicate expressions of nocturnal life. These beings whose entire existence unfolds in whispers rather than declarations, in subtle presence rather than dramatic action. The Luna moth, with wings of luminous pale green spanning up to 7 inches, emerges from its cocoon without a mouth or digestive system. It will live only for about a week, unable to eat or drink, dedicating its brief adult existence entirely to the sacred purpose of continuation, of finding a mate, of ensuring new life will emerge from its passing. This extraordinary creature has no fear of hunger, no anxiety about sustenance, no concern for longevity. It embodies complete acceptance of life's transience, perfect alignment with natural cycles of emergence and dissolution, utter peace within the brief span of its being. As sleep approaches more closely now, feel how your own attachment to wakefulness gradually dissolves, how the need to maintain conscious awareness softly recedes, how resistance to sleep's embrace gently surrenders, following the Luna moth's wisdom of perfect acceptance, of complete alignment with the natural cycle now unfolding within you. The flight of night moths through darkness appears erratic to human perception, seeming to flutter without pattern or purpose. Yet this apparent randomness contains deep intelligence. The irregular pathways make them difficult targets for predators. The unpredictable movements help them track subtle scent molecules carried on night breezes. The seemingly chaotic dance allows them to navigate using the moon's position while avoiding the distraction of artificial lights. Within what looks like confusion lies perfect adaptation. Within apparent disorder exists sophisticated purpose. Within seeming randomness dwells profound attunement to environment. This wisdom of transcending linear patterns, of following more subtle currents of guidance, of trusting paths that analytical minds might dismiss as directionless, offers another template for our relationship with sleep's approach. As your thoughts become increasingly nonlinear, as mental images arise and dissolve without logical connection, as impressions flow in patterns beyond ordinary sequence, recognize these not as disorientation but as natural transitions. Not as dysfunction but as transformation of consciousness into its sleep-appropriate forms. Most remarkable perhaps is the moth's navigation by moonlight. Using the moon's position as a constant reference point allows moths to maintain steady direction during night flights. This ancient system worked perfectly for millions of years, until human-created artificial lights began to confuse this navigational mechanism, causing moths to spiral around bulbs and flames in their attempt to maintain proper orientation to what they perceive as the moon. What appears to us as the moth's self-destructive attraction to flame is actually the result of extraordinary navigational precision, of perfect adherence to a system that served for countless generations. This perspective invites us to reconsider many behaviors in the natural world that we misinterpret through limited understanding, to recognize that apparent mistakes may reflect sophisticated adaptations operating in changed environments. As your perception continues to transform with sleep's approach, notice how judgments about right or wrong experiences gradually dissolve, how the categories of appropriate or inappropriate thoughts slowly fade, how the distinction between relevant and irrelevant sensations gently disappears, opening to each moment's experience with the same acceptance regardless of its content, the same receptivity regardless of its form, the same peaceful witnessing regardless of its nature. The delicate antennae of night moths represent one of nature's most sensitive detection systems. The feathery structures of a male Luna moth's antennae can detect as few as 1 or 2 molecules of a female's pheromones from several miles away. These molecular messengers guide the male through darkness with greater precision than any human-created navigational device. allowing him to find his mate despite vast distances and countless obstacles. This extraordinary sensitivity doesn't come from analytical processing but from direct receptivity. From the capacity to register incredibly subtle signals without interference from unnecessary filtration. From the ability to receive pure information as immediate guidance rather than data requiring interpretation. Your own sensitivity likely increases as sleep draws nearer. Subtle sensations in your body becoming more noticeable. Quiet sounds registering more distinctly. Internal rhythms revealing themselves more clearly. This heightened receptivity isn't heightened effort but rather the result of decreased interference, of quieter mental commentary, of reduced analytical filtering. The natural sensitivity of your being emerging as conceptual overlays recede. The transformation of a moth from earthbound caterpillar to aerial nocturnal being remains one of nature's most profound mysteries. Within the sheltering darkness of a cocoon, the caterpillar's body dissolves almost completely into a cellular soup from which the moth's entirely different form emerges. This is not mere growth or development but fundamental reimagining of existence. A radical reorganization of the same life essence into an entirely new expression. Most remarkably, certain clusters of cells called imaginal discs survive the dissolving process intact. These cell groups contain the template for butterfly or moth features that didn't exist in the caterpillar: wings, compound eyes, reproductive organs. They activate only when the caterpillar's familiar structure has completely surrendered to dissolution. When the old form has fully released its hold. When the interim state of formlessness has been fully embraced. This wisdom of transformation offers profound insight into all life transitions. The recognition that certain potentials can only emerge through the dissolution of existing forms. That new capacities often await on the other side of surrender. That reimagined existence requires passage through the vulnerable stage of formlessness. Sleep itself represents a similar doorway between states of being. Not merely rest but transformation. Not simply absence of wakefulness but presence of different consciousness. Not just recovery but reimagining. As you draw ever closer to this threshold, trust in the wisdom of surrender. In the intelligence of letting go. In the profound renewal that awaits beyond the familiar shores of waking awareness. The gentle glow of fireflies illuminating summer evenings represents one of nature's most mesmerizing displays. These remarkable beetles produce light through a chemical process called bioluminescence, combining a substance called luciferin with oxygen and the enzyme luciferase to create the cool temperature light that pulses from their abdomens. Most enchanting is the synchronized flashing of certain firefly species. Thousands of individuals blinking in perfect unison, creating waves of light that flow through forests like visual music. This harmonization happens without conductor, without central coordination, without planned agreement. Each firefly adjusts its rhythm slightly to match its neighbors, creating collective patterns of breathtaking beauty and complexity through countless tiny alignments. This emergence of order from individual responsiveness, of harmony from mutual attunement, of collective beauty from personal adjustment, reveals another dimension of night wisdom. The understanding that the most profound coherence rarely comes through imposed structure, through forced compliance, through rigid planning, but through sensitive responsiveness to what surrounds us. Through gentle alignment with the rhythms already unfolding, through humble participation in patterns larger than ourselves. As sleep approaches ever more closely, feel how your own rhythms naturally synchronize with deeper cycles, how your breath aligns with tidal patterns beyond conscious control, how your heartbeat finds resonance with more fundamental pulses, how your brainwaves shift toward harmony with night's own frequencies. No effort required. No technique needed. Only willingness to participate in the synchronization already underway. The short lifespan of most moths and fireflies, rarely more than a few days or weeks in their adult form, invites reflection on time's nature. These beings experience what we might consider a lifetime within the span of a single human night. Their perception of time's passage likely differs dramatically from our own. What feels like momentary stillness to us might contain entire cycles of experience for them. What seems like fleeting encounter to our perception might represent extended communion in theirs. This relativity of temporal experience reminds us that time is not the objective constant we often assume. That consciousness creates its own relationship with duration. That the same span can contain vastly different depths and breadths of being depending on how we experience it. The moth's week and the redwood's millennia both represent complete lifetimes, both perfect in their own temporal scale. Your perception of time has likely already shifted as sleep draws nearer. Minutes expanding or contracting beyond their measured length. Thoughts unfolding at a pace disconnected from external clocks. Sensations lingering longer than their physical duration. This fluid relationship with time is not distortion but liberation. Not confusion but expansion. The natural flowering of consciousness beyond its daytime constraints. The delicate wings of moths contain microscopic scales that serve multiple functions beyond flight. These overlapping structures create the intricate patterns and colors that adorn a moth's wings. They provide insulation against night's coolness. They help shed raindrops that might otherwise weigh down the moth. Most remarkably, these scales can detach easily when a predator strikes, allowing the moth to slip away, leaving only scales in a pursuer's grasp. This capacity to release what seems essential rather than remain caught. To sacrifice the peripheral to preserve the central. To allow partial loss rather than risk complete capture. Embodies a wisdom of discernment and surrender. The recognition that letting go of certain attachments enables continued freedom. That release of some aspects allows preservation of what's most vital. As sleep arrives more imminently now, notice what aspects of waking consciousness you can most easily release. Which thoughts you can allow to detach without resistance. Which concerns can wait for tomorrow's light. Which sensations can dissolve without tracking. Just as the moth releases scales without diminishment of its essential being, you can release the components of wakefulness without any loss of fundamental presence. The night-blooming flowers that provide nectar to moths open only in darkness. Their white or pale-colored petals reflecting available moonlight. Their strong fragrance is intensifying after sunset to guide pollinators through darkness. These botanical partners have evolved in perfect synchrony with their moth visitors, timing their blooming to the precise hours when moths are most active, producing nectar with the exact composition that moths prefer, shaping their floral structures to match the feeding apparatus of specific moth species. This coevolution represents millions of years of relationship, of mutual adaptation, of shared destiny between completely different life forms. Neither moth nor flower exists independently of the other. Their very being has been shaped through constant responsiveness to each other's needs and changes. Their separate identities dissolved and reformed countless times through their enduring connection. As you rest at the threshold of sleep, sense the co-evolutionary relationship between your consciousness and the night. How human awareness has been shaped through millennia of surrender to darkness. How sleep has adapted to support the particular needs of human neurology. How consciousness and unconsciousness have formed each other through their nightly dance across countless generations. This is not your first journey across this threshold, but the continuation of an ancient pattern woven into the very structure of your being. The acoustic dimension of moths' existence reveals another layer of their hidden complexity. Though appearing silent to human perception, many moth species produce and perceive ultrasonic sounds beyond our hearing range. Some generate sounds by rubbing specialized body parts together. Others create clicks by contracting internal air sacs. Still others have developed membrane ears on their thorax or abdomen specifically tuned to detect the ultrasonic calls of predatory bats. This sonic awareness exists in realms beyond human perception, reminding us that countless experiences, communications, and relationships unfold in dimensions we cannot directly access. That our understanding of reality remains partial. That multiple valid perspectives and experiences coexist simultaneously. That the limits of our perception are not the limits of existence. As your conscious awareness gradually recedes, as the familiar boundaries of waking perception slowly dissolve, remain open to the possibility that consciousness continues in forms beyond those you typically recognize. That awareness transforms rather than disappears. That new dimensions of experience become accessible as others temporarily fade. Sleep not as absence but as doorway. Not as void but as alternative presence. The moth's attraction to light contains deeper symbolic resonance across human cultures. In ancient Greek tradition, moths and butterflies represented the soul's journey. The Sanskrit word for moth, patanga, connects to concepts of devotional surrender. Numerous spiritual traditions view the moth's movement toward flame as metaphor for the soul's attraction to divine light despite potential dissolution of individual form. Beyond cultural symbolism, this movement toward brightness reflects the moth's willingness to risk everything for what genuinely calls to it. To follow attraction without calculation of consequences. To prioritize movement toward light over personal preservation. Whether we interpret this as spiritual metaphor or evolutionary adaptation, the moth embodies a wholehearted response to what it perceives as essential. As sleep arrives on the gentlest wings of surrender, allow yourself to follow the moth's example of complete trust, of unresisting movement toward what naturally draws you, of peaceful release into the essential cycle of consciousness that calls you now toward its restorative darkness, toward its transformative embrace, toward its mysterious depths where renewal awaits beyond the reach of waking understanding. With each breath becoming nearly imperceptible, with each thought dissolving before completion, with each sensation merging into unified field of gentle presence. Prepare for the final transition of our journey, where we'll gather the wisdom of all our nocturnal guides and welcome the profound gift of complete surrender to sleep. As your consciousness hovers at the very threshold of sleep, we arrive now at the final sanctuary of our nocturnal journey, the quiet harbor where all explorations come to rest, the peaceful shore where surrender becomes complete. Here, in this gentlest space between waking and dreaming, between listening and drifting, between following and floating, we gather the quiet wisdom of all our night guides before releasing you entirely to sleep's deep embrace. Throughout this journey across the night world, we've encountered remarkable beings who have mastered darkness in their own unique ways, each offering distinct gifts to carry with us into our dreams, each embodying wisdom that speaks to different aspects of our own nature, each demonstrating paths of harmony with the great rhythm of light and shadow that governs all life on our planet. The owl shared its patient wisdom, its capacity for silent observation, its ability to see clearly in darkness, its profound stillness that contains limitless potential for precise action. From these nocturnal hunters, we learn that true vision often comes through quieting the ordinary senses, That deeper perception emerges when we release attachment to surface appearance. That wisdom grows in the spaces between thoughts rather than in their constant movement. The bat revealed the possibility of navigating through life using senses beyond the visible, of creating detailed understanding through channels other than the obvious, of finding community and connection even in apparent darkness. Through their remarkable sonics and social bonds, these winged mammals showed that orientation comes in many forms, that belonging transcends vision, that some of the richest experiences happen beyond the reaches of conventional perception. From the peaceful sloth, we receive the transformative gift of slowness, the revolutionary power of deliberate pace, the profound efficiency of conserving rather than consuming. These masters of energy minimalism revealed that constant activity does not equal effectiveness, that patience often accomplishes what effort cannot, that being can be more valuable than doing in life's greater ecology. The wildcats demonstrated the delicate balance between absolute stillness and perfect action, between relaxed presence and focused intention, between solitary self-reliance and territorial respect. Their silent movements through the forest taught us about moving with rather than against our environment, about timing rather than forcing, about the wisdom of waiting for the perfect moment instead of creating endless imperfect ones. The soaring frigate birds and albatrosses showed us that rest need not be separate from journey, that renewal can happen within motion rather than only through its cessation, that consciousness flows in multiple streams simultaneously rather than in a single current. Their remarkable capacity for sleep during flight reminds us that letting go happens in degrees rather than absolutely, that surrender can be partial yet genuine, that restoration takes many forms beyond our conventional understanding. And finally, the delicate moths and luminous fireflies illuminated the beauty of ephemeral existence, the power of brief but complete living, the mysterious harmony that emerges not through command but through resonance. These short-lived beings demonstrate that significance doesn't require duration, that meaning emerges through quality of presence rather than quantity of time, that synchronicity creates patterns of breathtaking beauty when each individual aligns with the greater dance. As you rest now at sleep's doorway, feel all these nocturnal teachings merging into a single stream of wisdom, a gentle river of night knowledge that flows through you, not as concepts to analyze but as direct knowing to absorb, not as information to remember but as understanding to embody. Each breath drawing this wisdom deeper into your being, each moment of surrender allowing it to permeate your consciousness more completely. The night has always been humanity's first and greatest teacher. Long before books or schools or formal learning, our ancestors received their deepest education through darkness, watching the stars roll overhead, listening to the voices of nocturnal creatures, feeling the profound shift in awareness that comes when visual dominance recedes and other senses awaken. This primal classroom remains available to us still, offering lessons that daylight thinking cannot provide, wisdom that rational analysis cannot access. Our journey together through this nocturnal landscape reconnects you with this ancient tradition of night learning, of dream wisdom, of insights that arise not through effort but through receptivity, not through seeking but through allowing. As sleep approaches ever more closely now, trust that this learning continues beyond conscious awareness, that sleep itself forms an essential part of wisdom's integration, that dreams will weave these understandings into the very fabric of your being. If you still remain awake and have heard these words to this point, leave a comment with the word dreamscape when you awaken, and I will know you are one of those rare listeners capable of journeying into the deepest layers of night stories. Those unusual travelers who can follow consciousness to its most remote borders before finally surrendering to sleep's embrace. Your capacity for sustained attention creates a special bridge between worlds. A unique thread connecting wakeful awareness with dream consciousness. Those who journey furthest before sleeping often report the most vivid dreams, the most meaningful insights, the most profound rest. Not because they resist sleep longer, but because they follow awareness deeper before releasing it completely. Like divers who descend to greater depths before finally returning to the surface, bringing back treasures from realms few travelers ever reach. Whether you've already crossed into sleep's territory or still linger at its threshold, know that the night holds you in perfect safety, that your journey continues under the watchful guardianship of all the beings we've encountered. The owl's wide eyes maintaining silent vigil from ancient trees, the bat's precise awareness detecting the slightest changes in your environment, the sloth's peaceful presence blessing your deepest relaxation, the wild cat's protective instincts securing the boundaries of your vulnerable surrender, the soaring seabirds maintaining connection with higher awareness even as you descend into deeper states, the gentle moths and fireflies illuminating the borderlands between consciousness and dreams with their soft glow. Imagine now that you float in perfect stillness beneath a vast night sky. Stars scattered across endless darkness like luminous seeds of light. The Milky Way flowing overhead like a river of subtle radiance. Moonlight bathing everything in silver luminescence that transforms the familiar into the magical. The air around you perfectly still yet somehow alive with invisible presence. The ground beneath you solid yet somehow breathing with ancient rhythm. With each inhalation, you absorb the quiet energy of this sacred darkness. With each exhalation, you release any remaining tension, any lingering thoughts, any last attachments to wakefulness. Your body becoming heavier with each breath. Your mind becoming quieter with each moment. Your awareness expanding beyond its usual boundaries while simultaneously drawing inward toward its deepest center. Feel how the boundaries between your body and the surrounding darkness begin to soften. The air against your skin no longer perceived as separate but as continuous with your own substance. The sounds around you no longer coming from elsewhere but arising within your own field of consciousness. The weight of your body against the supporting surface no longer a point of contact but a region of merger. This dissolution of ordinary boundaries represents no loss but rather an expansion. Not an absence of self but a larger experience of presence. As sleep approaches its final embrace, imagine your consciousness as a drop of water returning to the ocean. Not disappearing but expanding beyond measure. Not ending but transforming into more comprehensive awareness. Not ceasing but continuing in forms beyond waking comprehension. The transition from wakefulness to sleep mirrors the greater cycles of existence. The rhythmic alternation between individuation and unity. Between form and formlessness. Between expression and potential. Sleep now beneath the whisper of evolution. Beneath the wisdom of nature that has created its wonders over millions of years. Your body rests. Your mind wanders. And may these remarkable creatures guard your dreams until morning light returns. Sweet dreams. Until we meet again in the realm of animal dreamscapes. As final surrender approaches, feel gratitude for this remarkable consciousness that experiences both waking and dreaming. Both activity and rest. Both light and darkness. The same awareness that receives the world's impressions during day now transforms to create inner landscapes during night. The same being that navigates external reality now explores internal territories of equal vastness and complexity. Nothing is truly lost in this transition. Only transformed from one expression to another. The soft rhythm of your breathing grows ever more profound. The gentle beating of your heart continues its ancient cadence. The subtle currents of energy through your body maintain their essential circulation, all systems shifting into their restorative modes, their healing patterns, their regenerative cycles. Sleep is not the shutting down of life, but its continuation in another mode. Not absence, but alternative presence. Not void, but different fullness. The wisdom of night animals accompanies you now as consciousness makes its final transition. Their gifts merging with your own innate knowing. Their adaptations resonating with your natural capacities. Their harmony with darkness awakening your own ability to find peace and surrender. To discover renewal and release. To experience wholeness and letting go. The owl's silent wings carry your final thoughts into dissolving darkness. The bat's sensitive awareness guides your perception beyond its usual limitations. The sloth's peaceful countenance blesses your complete relaxation. The wildcat's patient vigilance watches over your vulnerable surrender. The soaring seabird's gliding presence supports your spirit's continued flight even as your body descends into perfect stillness. The moth's gentle attraction to darkness leads you willingly towards sleep's mysterious heart. The firefly's rhythmic glow pulses in harmony with your slowing thoughts. All of night's children gather around your resting consciousness, creating a circle of silent protection, a sphere of peaceful presence, a field of restorative energy that supports the profound work sleep now begins within you. Work beyond conscious direction or effort. Renewal beyond willing or doing. Restoration beyond technique or intention. The ancient wisdom of biological intelligence that has evolved over millions of years now activates its healing cycles without need for your participation or guidance. Sleep beneath the whisper of evolution. Beneath the wisdom of nature that has created its wonders over countless eons. Your body rests. Your mind wanders. And may these remarkable creatures guard your dreams until morning light returns. Sweet dreams. Until we meet again in the realm of animal dreamscapes.